What up, everybody? Damn, we got Transquaylog in the chat. That's even better than Cisquaylog. Give people a second to filter in before I jump on things, because I just posted everywhere. How's everybody doing? I just had a bug in Cataclysm that took me like I did a bunch of like infrastructure stuff, and it was like a big backporting project from Dark Days Ahead that touched like every file in the repository basically, and everything seemed fine, but this one little bug crept in that I didn't notice right away that was potentially like messing up people's saves, and it got unfortunately pushed to Steam, so I had to do like an emergency 20-hour bug finding project. It was just like one line had a single function that technically worked, but caused a minor problem that caused a lot of other huge problems. One Green Fig says, just finished my VTM game for the evening. Are you playing 2020 or V5? Also, what clan? Storyteller is a clan. Hello, Bound Alice. Ice Warrior, always first. And we got Caster. Kia ora, Calvin Richardson. One Green Fig, V5, and I'm Nagaraj. I don't know Nagaraj. Is that... Are those Indian? Nagaraja are a bizarre bloodline of flesh-eating vampires. Oh, okay, they're those guys. Yeah. Beast v mages. That's funny. Oh, and they're in Hecata. Okay, that makes sense. Have you played, One Green Fig, have you played Night Road? The choice of games, like text-based V5 game? If you haven't, it's really good. There's some very funny content with the Hecata. It's like there's like a completely missable side quest with them. It's in like the... I think after you do the first 3 missions, like the first main 3 missions, you can get sucked into this side quest with the Hecata that is like any way that it can go is hilarious. Or you're playing them before the Flesh Eater, before the Hecata merge. See, I like Requiem. I've talked about that a little bit. I'm one of the people who prefers Requiem, and I'm so sad that it's just like they just kind of dropped the IP completely. I started Parliament of Knives. I didn't really get too far. I was busy or something. I should go back and finish it. Yeah. Nice vampire. It's an oxymoron. It's like saying you have good cancer. So Kelvin, there's a guy who does he does Cataclysm content. He does like a lot of like let's play kind of stuff and streams. He goes by Rycon Roleplays on YouTube. Um, he is, in my opinion, like the best one doing Cataclysm stuff. He's just really solid. And he's a Kiwi, so he always says "Kia ora," you know, as the start of his start of his videos. So Sterling Silversword says, using the cancer metaphor, can vampires be benign at best? Well, I think you can, like, the struggle in the game is you can try to break even or you can try to settle, like, even the scales. But if that's the way you're living your life, and it probably should be if you're determined to stay alive, because if you commit to being a bastard, it gets worse. But, like, the uphill battle against just like the bare facts of your existence, especially in the setting where other vampires are always trying to get one over on you, let alone like hunters and stuff. It makes it so that you can't like you're going to cause harm just by existing. And you should try to push back against that as a character in that world, because your humanity is kind of one of the only things that keeps you from descending into the sort of monsterdom that tends to either turn you into an NPC or get you killed very quickly. And, you know, there's supposed to be like a tragedy where you're, no matter how hard you hold on, you're always going to either slip away or you're going to have to, you know, flame out at some point. Because like the theme is like, oh, you have this immortality, but it's not good. You know, people aren't supposed to live forever. One Green Fig says it's possible to get a very high humanity in VTM, but it's extremely difficult. Yeah, but like the Golconda Seekers are often inhuman in ways that aren't immediately apparent, and they're often still causing a lot of harm, just not as directly. But like, people are like, oh, I would just get blood from my friends and I would just, you know, do that. And it's like, well, okay, then all of the other vampires now know that you have these friends that you're like emotionally attached to and reliant upon. And they're going to either try to compromise or harm those friends in order to mess with you, because you, just by existing, represent a threat to their power. You know, it's like in The Sopranos, Tony Soprano is a charming guy who can be really nice and do a lot of good in the world, and he sometimes does, but at the end of the day, he's going to prioritize his own survival and his own power and his own luxury, because that's just the nature of the creature that he is, right? I'm trying to think of like Tony Soprano trying to achieve Golconda, like starting like a new age cult with his sister or something. All right, I think we can get started. Although I could gab about vampire forever. I don't think we have a chat full of vampire players. Hack McMax asks, did Rycon do any TLG playthrough? I think he was going to at one point, and then he got sidetracked or something. I haven't seen that he has. I would love to hear about it if he did. But I think DDA is his bread and butter, and so he sticks to it, which is completely respectable. Yeah, if you play Vampire, the ideal way to think of it is as a mafia story, where, because that's how it's written. That's like how it's set up. You know, you've got these old timers. You've got people who want to go maverick. You've got like kind of all the archetypes in there. Oh, well, thank you, Kelvin. All right. So in our last run, or we are on day 4. We completed the first half of it. We are old. So just to run through what's happened in this run. On our first day, we went with Stella, and we wound up saving Duke. So Gretchen was killed, just by these little guys. If you're new to this game, don't worry too much about this. But these little creatures caused Duke to have a hunting accident. Or no, they grabbed Gretchen, so we saved Duke from the hunting accident. And then on day 2, we have street smart, so we were able to get all the kids out of the mine without any problems. On day 3, we went to a ghost hunt, and we learned a bunch, but we wound up sacrificing some of our years to free the ghost of Charles Shaw Jr., who was buried underneath the town hall, alongside this mysterious, like, magical stone thing. And today is day 4. Our friend Stella is missing. We were looking for her all day, but because we've been supernaturally aged, we're not just older, because, like, the character's assumed to be, like, early to mid-20s, and we've aged, like, 10 or 20 years really badly. 40 is not really very old, but the implication is that Charlie didn't just take 20 years off of our life. He took, like, the best of our strength and vitality. So our body is weak. We get tired really quickly. We've got this vignette over our screen to kind of sell that a little bit more. To other people, we look aged, but there's more going on than just that. Like, a chunk of our soul is missing, basically, and our body is in terrible shape now. And we have hot. We have street smart and hot. Street smart is like thief skills, like lying, sneaking around, but also seeing through lies. Hot is like not just being physically attractive, but also having the kind of it factor to pull it off. We can see our major decisions here. We've been nice to the opossum. We stayed at Stella's. We met the Mary's a dog. I haven't really read these. There's some funny editorializing in here. Yeah, we got you've all seen Kid Named Funger, right? I can't find the image. It's a shame. Wait, maybe I have it. I did make the image. No, it looks like I moved all of the Funger video stuff to the drive. Okay. This is not the monster boyfriend run, even though we have hot, which is an important trait for this chapter. We are doing a Kenneka run. I think we're gonna not use our save for this run, because I think if Reese is free, he will always kind of supersede what you're trying to do on day 5. And actually, is that true? Do we know if Reese always shows up day 5, even if you kind of platonically? Anyway, I got sidetracked. Anyway, we went to the beach that makes you old. So. But we did a Monster Boyfriend run last time. So if you want to see that, just go to the live tab on the channel and scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the streams for the Reese run. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic. its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you toward whatever emits this compulsive frequency. You used to be quite the Casanova in high school, and back in the day you learned 2 things. First, the second floor of a residential building is never locked. And second, the skills needed to take advantage of that security flaw. No judgmental parents ever managed to get in the way of you and your high school flames. We're just going to go talk to Dr. Kelly. So we've aged at least a decade in the past day. That's got to be a medical anomaly, right? Maybe you can see if Dr. Kelly can give you a checkup while you figure out a way to explore the rest of the clinic. I found a typo. Christopher Ramos says, I love your Signalis video. Thank you. I worked very hard on that. It drove me a little bit insane. I kept having to, like, in the process of writing that script, I kept having to go back and revise it, even though I don't normally do too much of that, because I was, like, figuring out new stuff about the plot. Okay, Reese only prevents us if we romance him. In that case, I'm going to show off both Reese outcomes, because I think it's important that we see one of them. We've seen what happens if we let Reese kind of win the conflict. The interior feels surprisingly modern compared to its exterior, though you can still glimpse the ornate bones of the building peeking in through the decorative molding and overly complicated banister lining the stairway. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. Also, I like this, we don't see the clinic except this at this time. Health and mining, pregnancy facts. We've got the October calendar, flu season. The vignette makes it a little hard to see, but there's more stuff about like mining and lung health and all that. But before it can drag you too far into the clinic, Dr. Kelly puts aside her paperwork and makes her way down the hall. Hello? Can I help you? What the hell happened to you? You look like you're middle-aged. You didn't look middle-aged last night. The top. I went to the beach that makes you old. Yeah, I sacrificed years of my life to exorcise a ghost from Oscar's house last night. It's a long story. Not so long that you couldn't sum it up in a sentence, though. Thank you for sparing me the novel of your exploits. I'll just write down ghost age patient 15 to 20 years in your file. I'd like to give you a checkup. Follow me. I know you can say ghost made me old at the police station. I think you can say it if you go to the mine. And you can say it here. I wonder if there's an achievement for that. I'm just going to start with some general diagnostics, but I'd also like to do some blood work today if you're amenable to that. She presses the cold metal of the stethoscope to your chest. Have you heard from Stella? No one knows where she is. Dr. Kelly briefly removes the stethoscope from your chest. Stella's missing. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I haven't seen her. I'll make sure to check with Reese. I know he hears from her pretty frequently. But let's finish this up first. She places the stethoscope back on your chest. You seem to take the whole ghost thing at face value. Look, I have no idea what happened to you last night. It completely defies everything I know about medical science. Until your condition starts to make sense, I think it's easiest for both of us if I just take what you told me at face value. Let's let her work. Have you always had a heart murmur? No doctor has ever said you had a heart murmur. Before you can answer, she attaches a blood pressure cuff to your arm, inflating it with a few quick pumps of the bulb. The ends of your fingers tingle numbly as the cuff constricts. I have a heart murmur? Is that bad? So it is new. I suppose you could have developed it at any point since your last checkup, but it is something that sometimes happens with age. Though developing one overnight, along with new wrinkles and gray hair, is not something that happens. The pressure on your arm finally releases. Blood rushes back into your fingertips. Your blood pressure is definitely higher than what I would expect of someone your age. It's not what I would call in a safe range, but it can be managed. Let me know if you feel any pain. The doctor leans over you, using her forefingers to prod your abdomen. She steadies you with a gentle hand on your shoulder. Do you have something against me? When I first showed up, you were kind of scary. And you still are. The doctor sighs, and you feel like the jabs in your torso get a little softer. Yeah, people tell me that. I'm a brusque person. It's just part of who I am. I don't mean to come off as rude. Plus, Stella and Kaneeka showing up with you in tow meant I would have to be a tough parent, turn you all away, and I hate having to do that. Probably made me even pricklier than I needed to be. In my defense, I'm just being protective. Reese's health is at a difficult point, and probably will be for the rest of his life. It means I have to be more strict than I'd like. But I'm sorry I let that impact the way I've spoken to you. I'll try to be more thoughtful. So have you noticed any ditchlings yet? Maybe I've seen some weird things outside the windows. I don't know what they are. I won't jump to any conclusions, but there's definitely some weird stuff going on around town that defies logic. You're proof enough of that. I'd like to know more about the clinic. Well, it was an old hospital during the Civil War. Then one of those clean air clinics. So I believe the clean air clinics were like the John Harvey Kellogg style things, where it was like sort of wealthier people would go to these like retreats where they would like feed you like gruel and make you wake up early and do. They didn't have yoga then, but I mean, yoga existed. They just didn't have it. But you know, make you do like aerobics and stuff at like 6 in the morning facing the sunrise. Then around the time of the collapse, it was converted back into a hospital, but it lost most of its funding as people left town, so now it's just a doctor's office. With an astronomical heating bill. All the massive windows and glass doors make this an icebox in the winter. What happened here after the Shaw mine collapsed? I suppose the only thing I know that the average resident of the holler might not is that the collapse was the reason this was converted into a proper hospital. The wounded were brought here where there were beds and medical supplies, and that pushed out the last dregs of the clean air kooks. Nobody thought the air around here was clean after a coal mine collapse filled it with ash, and the theory was already on its way out at that point. I'm interested in your thoughts on folks around town. We really don't need to do small talk. What'd you think of Pearl Ann? Small talk it is, then. Vivian and I used to joke that she was the evil twin, though I'm not sure you could call it a joke if it's just true. So this is one of the few notes we get about Dr. Kelly's relationship with Vivian. I think Vivian probably had a few friends because we learned that she was the opposite of Pearl Ann, and Pearl Ann was really nasty and rude, and Vivian didn't really get along with the family, but probably got along better with people around town. But she was Dr. Kelly's like only friend. And the first time we see Dr. Kelly, you can say, "Hi, I'm Vivian's kid," and she like turns away and says, "I know who you are." So I think there might have been some history there. I'm not sure. Sorry, I really shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Did you know my mom well? I did. We were friends growing up. She was sarcastic but nice. I liked that about her. A hell of a lot more pleasant to be around than her sister. You know any history about my family? Of course I do. Folks around here learn all the important myths about your family. The whole bootstraps thing with Silas, the founding of the town by the mighty Andrew J. Scarlet, and of course the big collapse and the evil Charles Shaw who gets all the blame. Your family's a big deal in this town. Of course I know about them. Only as much as anyone else, though. I'm not really into local history. Do you know Sybil well? I know her as well as anybody else. She's yet another resident of Scarlet Hollow who should really come to see me more often, but she has her own ideas about health. She seems to think drinking a gallon of tea a day will grant her immortality. That's called the GOTAD diet. I'm sure I'll be seeing more of her when she realizes that's not the case. I really appreciate you looking out for me, Doc. No problem, just doing my job. I'd feel negligent if I saw someone go through what you've gone through and didn't step in, even if there's not much I can do to help. I'd like to check out your lungs. Can you breathe into this for me? Make sure you keep a tight seal on it. You place the mouthpiece against your lips. Now blow out hard and keep going until you're out of air, okay? You do your best. You can tell it's a pitiful attempt. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'd expect given everything else. Again, I don't have data from before, but judging by your age and what I've been able to tell from a quick once over, it's looking like you're the equivalent of 15, 20 years older, and not a good 15 or 20 years. But let's see what your blood work has to say about that. She goes to a drawer and retrieves a needle. Okay, Doc, stick me with it. You'll barely feel it, I promise. She inserts the needle. She was wrong. You definitely feel it. But it doesn't last long. The needle slides back out quickly and she puts a cotton ball in the tiny hole in your skin, pasting a band-aid over top, sealing your vital juices. There, see? That was all we had to do. Not bad at all. Alright, that's all we can do for now. I'll make sure to notify you when I get the results and send them to your GP. You do have a regular doctor back home, right? Yeah, I don't have health insurance. Oh, I see. Well, I'll give you a copy and hold on to one for my records, I suppose. You should look into getting some kind of health insurance. Even something off the marketplace is better than nothing, especially since you're... She glances at your newly aged face. Probably gonna want to start getting regular checkups. You're free to go. You know how to find the door. She starts busying herself with cleaning up her equipment. She'll be distracted, at least for a few minutes. Also, even if we age 20 years, we're still like 15 years younger than her. She's supposed to be in her mid-50s. I'm trying to think of, like, Oscar's like 32, which is funny. Hi, Astronomalies. I'm eating dinamitas. On stream. Yeah, she fine. She fine. Although, you know, like, when I was a kid, people in their 50s looked like hell. Like, it was, like, ancient. And now, like, people in their 50s look like people in their 40s, but, like, with, like, a little bit more gray in their hair. And people in their 40s look like people in their 30s, so... I think the invention of sunscreen, which really only became widely available during the 80s, I think that that plus like nobody smokes anymore. I think that really has done wonders for the overall appearance of most people. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You've been caught by the pull of the object, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and toward a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar as if inviting you to enter. The lights click on. You're in the morgue. Mint? He squints, seemingly unsure whether you're the same person he met yesterday. What are you doing in the morgue? What are you doing in the morgue? Yeah, I'm sure it looks weird. It's not like I expected anyone to come down here. I just, you know, practicing. A rehearsal, if you will. Rehearse, you say. Good one. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment the thing on the other side of the blank white wall loosens its pull on you. You look kind of possessed for a second there. You good? Make him understand. Why wall? Neatsy thing, but wall stand in way? Reese glances back at the wall. Are you trying to get at something behind the wall? It kind of has a bad vibe, doesn't it? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the doc out of our hair. Should take 2 seconds. Get the doc out of our hair? Yeah, if I say I'm sick and I need something, she'll drop whatever she's doing and do it for me. Surefire way to get her out of the house. And most of the time it's true anyway. And most of the time it's true anyway. How'd you learn that little trick? When you're a teenager whose doctor mom won't leave you alone for 2 seconds, you learn how to make it happen. Yes, I will destroy the wall. Oh, you are seriously desperate about that wall. I'll make it quick. Be right back. So Sterling says, I love how fast he got on board there. He dropped a hint that he can feel it too. He says, you know, it does have a bad vibe, doesn't it? So I think he's also, he knows there's been like, he knows a little bit about the whole or he actually knows the whole thing about the whole situation. And that we've been encountering these statues and he's been missing out, so. You hear his soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. Hey, Mom. He coughs gently. Reese, I didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. It looks like we're all out, though. Really? I thought I'd just pick some up. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice, and some ginger ale, too. That'd be awesome. Sorry to ask. I know you're probably busy. It's no problem. It doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed until I get back. Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. It worked. The theatric rasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Come on up. We don't have long until she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she'd be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eye. Some sort of records, with your family's name on them. Did you use Street Smart to pick up the documents to read later? Reese watches you with curiosity. Stealing medical documents? If my family's gonna keep secrets from me, I better learn what I can. Totally. Steal anything you need to. You got a mystery to solve. I'm not gonna stand in your way. Let's check the medical supply room next. I can imagine a room full of chemicals being a place someone might want to keep an axe. Better be careful stealing stuff in there, though. That might really get you in trouble. You turn around and leave the office. It's time to move on. Come on, let's keep looking. There it is. Looks like it needs a key, though. We better not break the glass. I'd rather explain why I had to steal the axe after we've had a chance to use it. There must be a key in here somewhere. He stops as if listening to something you can't hear. Shit, she's back already. As if on cue, you hear the front door to the clinic open and close, the creak of its antique hinges echoing down the hallway. Footsteps start down the hall. This song is called A Dark and Empty Chest, and it's my favorite song on the entire soundtrack. Not this guitar, but like in a second, the guitar has like a little chorus pedal on it that sounds really good, and it sounds similar to there's like a band that used it a lot that I can't place. She's headed this way. Quick, we gotta hide. I'm not supposed to be in here. He opens the closet door and hurriedly motions you inside. You slip past him, scrunching into the small space as best you can. He attempts to slide in after you. You make space and he slips in next to you, closing the door just enough that you can both still monitor the entrance to the supply room. Dr. Kelly storms in, plastic bag in tow. She takes something out of the bag and places it on the counter. And then she hurries back out, bag rustling as she makes her way back down the hallway. You better wait a second, just in case. The two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back towards your hiding place, creaking floorboards broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just outside your hiding spot. His head swivels suddenly. That was the door to the house. We're in the clear. Let's go. Oh, yeah, it does sound like The Cure. That's what I was thinking, yeah. Oh, Bound Alice says Depeche Mode. Yeah, it's the, all I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Yeah, okay. Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode. That's the song I'm thinking of. Reese quickly and quietly starts pulling out drawers, scanning them for keys. I'll let him handle it. You watch while he rifles through drawers, content to let him figure it out. Soon there's a jingling of keys and he turns to you, victorious. So I always love the characters are always drawn very expressively when they're in this like mid-range. I really like this drawing of me. It's very funny. There we go. They're even color-coded. She made this too easy. Reese pauses to look at the plant on the table. It was weird of her to drop that off, right? Why would she put some alien-looking fruit in the supply room? She's not a pharmacist. She's not supposed to make her own medicine. This room is for storing stuff she orders from an actual pharmacist. And I doubt it's decorative. Yeah, maybe there's some information on it somewhere in here? Yeah, maybe. But before you get the chance to look, Reese jerks his head toward the door. Shit, that was the door from the house. We gotta run. Grab the axe and go. You grab the axe and follow Reese's instruction, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back toward the morgue. So, I think we had to dip out of there because we are old? Like, normally, because we had street smart, we didn't spend that long sneaking around. And so we had time to, oh, maybe it's because I got the checkup. We didn't have time to snoop around in the medicine room. If you have Booksmart, you recognize those that plant as castor beans, which if you've seen Breaking Bad, you know that's for making ricin, which is incredibly deadly. I think if you have time, you can find a little journal in there that sheds some light on that whole situation. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. I was right. We did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge. But there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest. Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, that's just my music. Be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all the industrial clanging you listen to. You know I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you at least have a blanket this time? Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner. When is the next video? Says Shrek is a god. I'm in the recording and editing process right now. So I've got all the gameplay footage. I've got the script is written. It's 65,000 words, which is the length of The Sun Also. It's a little bit longer than The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. For reference, the Signalis script I think was like 48,000 words or something, which is a little bit longer than The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. So Astronomaly says it does. I don't remember doing that on my Keen Eye saves, but I was also old in both of those. So you have a limited time to explore the clinic, and I think if you do the checkup, it eats up your time, and also if you read all of the notes about your family, it eats up your time. If you have Booksmart, you can read quickly enough that it doesn't cause a problem, and if you have Street Smart, you can just swipe the documents and read them later. Hey. Now I should warn you, something spooky might happen when we break down that wall. Reese smiles. Good. I feel like I've been missing out lately. Stop asking questions. It's time to see what's on the other side of that wall. Let's do this. Have at it. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. So, what I should say is, it will be probably some weeks before the video's done, but it is in the sort of latter end of its production cycle. The first cut offers a surprising amount of resistance. There's some structure behind it, some wood frame holding it in place, trying to stand between you and what waits for you on the other side. Yeah, the rakish sage says, it'd be so funny to throw your back out trying to do this part when you're old. I'm surprised Reese doesn't, like, volunteer to do it for you, because if he reads the journal up there, if you tell him that there's ricin, or that there's, like, what those castor beans are, he gets, like, mad, and he's like, I'm gonna break the wall. And he uses the axe. Holy shit. The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place in the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthy mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward. And you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing, rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. I bet you could get like the exact date on this kind of wheelchair. I wonder if this is Teddy's wheelchair, actually, because he was here, right? And Enoch like took him out of here. And if you have both mystical and you drink the tea, you see that Enoch, not only did he take him out of here, but he like lied to the doctor and was like, "Oh, my brother was never here." Oh yeah, and I said you can probably date it by these boilers. These are from like the 1910s and 20s. They were installed everywhere to deal with the Spanish flu because it turns out that heat and humidity lower the transmission rate because of the way the virus moves through the air. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway toward the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa, are you okay? Yeah, I used to live in an old building that had like that exact kind of boiler. It was really cool. Except it made horrifying noises all night. It sounded like the building was coming apart. You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Enoch, I thought you weren't gonna come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. I said there's nothing I can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I gonna do? Calm down, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. I've been doing my own research, and I found us an alternative. We won't have to worry about anything from here on out. I promise. I went to talk to the witch. A witch? But that's nonsense. It's all right. It's all sorted. We're taking you home today, and everything will be resolved by this time next week. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Hey, I was worried you'd slipped into a coma or something. You tore down a wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving, and collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure. Are you okay? Wait, nothing spooky happened? The mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts? No, nothing. You just fell down, twitched a little, and when you seemed stable, I carried you back here. That was a few hours ago. Yeah, maybe there's something spooky going on right now and we haven't realized it yet. Reese glances around, the two of you waiting in silence as you wait for something spooky to happen. Maybe, or maybe not. I guess it'd be for the best if nothing happened. He sighs. Too bad, though. With your track record, I was kind of hoping we'd run into some unimaginable horrors. At least I know there's an abandoned hospital wing in the morgue. I'm sure there's plenty in there to get creeped out by. I still have those documents I swiped, right? Yeah, you should still have them on you. Sure enough, you pull out the file containing medical documents about your family. Pearl Ann, cause of death, sleep apnea. Discovered by her daughter, Tabitha Chrysanthemum Scarlet. No autopsy performed. Edwardine Scarlet. Born April 9th, 1913. Died February 12th, 2003. Aged 89. Cause of death, heart failure. Signed by her granddaughter, Pearl Ann Scarlet. Pretty normal. Almost made it to 90. Died of a normal old person illness. Enoch Scarlet. Born September 9th, 1887. Died August 20th, 1957. Age 69. Cause of death, fall from cliff. So we know there's the cliff right next to the house, and that there are even like holes in the floor and stuff that are unsafe. It would be pretty funny if the house was like that busted up even in the 50s. I don't imagine it was, but note that date, August 20th. This one has a coroner's report attached. Organ sustained impact injuries, lacerations to neck and body consistent with fall from great height. So a lot of people don't know this. When you fall really far, the impact like ripples through your body so hard that it ruptures and causes what look like big like cut wounds, like you look like you've been sliced open, especially like in your soft tissue, like on your stomach and stuff. You quickly flip through a few of the other Scarlets whose names aren't quite as familiar. Theodore Scarlet, born May 24th, 1890, died 1918, age 28. Cause of death, crushed in mine collapse. Body not recovered, signed by his brother Enoch Scarlet. So we know he went to the hospital. We know that Enoch went to the hospital, took him home, and then told the doctor like, oh, that wasn't my brother, that was an imposter. Anyway, he's gone. He was just trying to like take advantage of the situation. But that was really Teddy. That was him. So basically Enoch took advantage of Teddy's disability and locked him in the room that we know about from our first run, which that's really messed up. That was his brother. Like Joseph Scarlet, born April 1914, died June 7th, 1944. Lewis Scarlet, born August 1920, died June 6, 1944. Both killed at Normandy in the line of duty. These must have been Edwardine's brothers. I have seen a photo, it's been quite some time now, but it's a photo of my great-grandmother and her, like, 6 kids, and then the next photo was taken, like, 4 years later after World War II, and it was her, and there was, like, 1 kid left, and they both looked like both she and him looked like hell. I don't think we have like a modern, like, it's difficult to imagine something that just ate everybody's family like that. Even COVID, you know, it killed so many people, but like the scale of it is not the same. Certificate of fetal death, infant boy, Andrew Charles Scarlet, delivered April 3rd, 1945, stillbirth, mother Edwardine Scarlet. So that was, we know, Charlie's son. Cause of death, complications during birth. No doctor present, home burial. There was no doctor present at the birth and a home burial. There's some information missing there. Alexandra Scarlet, born December 12th, 1947, died August 20th, 1957, age 9, missing presumed dead, signed by mother Edwardine Scarlet. So that's the same day that Enoch died. Alexandra, the owner of the doll, so she went missing. Somebody says, I remember in a previous playthrough there were people puzzled by central heating. Yeah, so in New York and other cities, like some other big cities that have a lot of old infrastructure like that, a building will have central heating that runs off of like a boiler in the basement, and that pushes like hot steam through pipes that run into your radiator, and that causes your apartment to get warmer. And in most buildings, you have some ability to turn this up or down, and your house, your room will get more or less of this steam heat. Also, you can just open the window. It's like if it's like 20 degrees outside, it will work itself out. But there's often not like a full-on thermostat that you can use. Although in some modern yeah, so CIA for you says the city turns it on and off. In Argentina, it's just the building management. Yeah, that was my experience, was the building management. But in New York, it might be the city. Because in New York, it was like a public health emergency that caused them to install all of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was the city doing it there. But in my experience, it's been the, it's just like building management. Mary Bell's death date confirms Vivian and Pearlan's birthday. Pearlan was just shy of 59 when she died. Okay, so Vivian's like a little bit older than, because Vivian and Pearlan were twins, so Vivian would be 59 if she was alive today, and she's like a little bit older than Joan, I guess. I assume Joan's like 56 or something. Cause of death, complications during childbirth, signed by her mother, Edwardine Scarlet. And I think we got the dialogue this time. If you go to, oh no, we didn't. I think I saw it on my own. If you go to the library on day 1, instead of hanging out with Stella, you can overhear the kids talking about what happened to Mary Bell. She was 17, she gave birth to twins, and they said she was like bleeding too much after the birth. And I think that's legit if there's like a full-on actual story about it. Sounds like there were witnesses and stuff, rather than just, oh, she disappeared. Yeah, I had a vision. Like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Always weird little things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel smaller. When he says that, I always think of Bugs Bunny after he drinks the hair tonic. Whatever these visions are, they're making me very suspicious of my family. That's probably a good thing, right? The Scarlets have always seemed like one of those old money families with a ton of secrets. And that estate up the hill seems like the kind of place that's seen at least one murder. Maybe you should try to stay away from that place. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? No, I snuck you back into the house when she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come into the morgue. Figured you wouldn't want to come too in the morgue. Q-Man says Joan looks really good for someone in their 50s. I was saying, like, 50s isn't really that old anymore. Also, on day 2, we can find her jogging. Reese has powerful build and keen eye. Those are his traits. Given that he looks exactly like Joan, I imagine she also has powerful build. And if you have powerful build and the ghost and Charlie gets you, you get some dialogue afterwards where you're like, actually, I still feel fine. Like I feel worse than I did, but I'm still healthy. So I think she just stays in shape, you know, takes care of herself. Yeah, I should probably get going. Stella's still missing, and the stone here finally stopped yelling at me. That might be a little tricky. The doc is on the warpath up there. I refuse to take my medicine, and she's not happy about it. Went ahead and blocked my door so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. Why didn't you take your medicine exactly? Because it makes me feel like shit. I was fine yesterday until the doc made me take my pills, and I was fine all day today. What's the harm in going a day without, right? And now that I'm not taking it, it's like all these weird little memories have come rushing back. Bad memories. I don't think the doc's a good person. I don't think she wants me to be healthy. I don't think she wants me to see people. And now that I'm waking up to that truth, I don't think there's any going back for either of us. So he seems a little unreasonable and unstable here. If you did find out what those beans were, what the castor beans were, or if you found the notes detailing that she had been giving that stuff to him, he is like, I have to get out of here, she's killing me. Like, he thinks that she has like Munchausen by proxy or something. How are we supposed to pass the time until it's safe to leave? No, distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. I believe you owe me a showing of Shi no Chi, death blood. I believe I do. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Kind of like a little drawing of the movie. And we can see some more of his art here. He's got the mirror covered, which I pointed out last time. There's the Hellraiser poster. I know this poster, I just can't think of what it is. And I know this poster, I just can't think of what it is. If anybody remembers what those are. They're both movie posters, I think. Let me know if it gets to be too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people react to the sorts of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build is palpable in the room. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time, what with the grisly paintings, lack of lighting, cinder block walls, and of course the fact that its inhabitant has been practically homebound since his teens. I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this is probably the best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings that wind up tying back to the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the world that I find really engrossing. It's found footage to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person. Or talk to people, ever. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of medicine. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on a long conversation. I'm glad you'll be able to have a social life, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Reese smiles to himself. That's still hard to imagine. Hard to believe after all these years alone that that's going to be my reality. A man on the screen yells portents of doom into the camera, trailing off into a wordless scream. The plot is really heating up. So this is a Japanese horror movie. I don't know what one it's... I don't know if it's invoking a specific one. John Smith says, without the context, it sounds like he's having a manic episode. It sure does, yeah. Yeah, the Rakish Sage points out, so, what is it, yeah, the Rakish Sage says, the devs did say what the character's traits would be, but, they've also said that only the player character actually has traits, in quotes. And, yeah, that's a thing that you can notice that I've talked about, which is, they seem to have traits that they aren't able to use to solve the dilemmas, and there seems to be either a person there who should be able to solve it, or like who's supposed to be there who should be able to solve it that can't. And it seems like something is like blocking everybody from living up to their potential, like the town basically. And the player character, being an outsider, seems to be able to, or maybe for other reasons that I'll get into, seems to be able to get around that. But Reese does look anorexic. I mean, we're supposed to read him as like sickly, right? I love that there are all these distinct sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. He's talking about the game. He's talking about the story we're playing right now. And then it sees you back. Incredible. Cosmic horror in the truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. Talking during movies is fine. Let him. He's just excited. Sorry if I'm talking a lot. I'm just jittery. It's a little terrifying to think that she's up there right now. There's a knock on the window.
Mint, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home.
That voice. I know that voice. Is that who's been following you around? Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the window. Good luck, freak. That glass is shatterproof. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. Yeah, what do you mean? Wayne isn't gonna hurt you. He hasn't hurt anyone. Yes, he will. He's furious with me. Can't you hear it? But I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. I don't have to cower from the people who want to hurt me. I can protect both of us, Mint. The window shatters. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls.
Grab my hand. I'll pull you out.
Leave us alone! In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off and Wayne along with it.
We aren't safe, but I feel strong now. I think I can save us. Stay here, I'll be right back. I just have to deal with the doc.
Reese storms up the stairs, leaving you with his creations. So I'm gonna save here because, I want to show both outcomes here because, they're kind of important for the conversation about Reese. You make your way to the door that beckoned to you yesterday, all intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads. You know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. So last time we just stayed in the basement and he came back after doing something terrible. Now the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there is a monster, preparing to do something unthinkable. Calling Tabby is very funny here, but because we're old, we wouldn't be able to find Stella afterwards. We told Tabby to look for her, and so if we don't call her for this, she will find her while we're doing this. If you're not old, you and Tabby can go find Stella afterwards. If you are old, you're just too wiped out after this and you have to go straight home. Dr. Kelly emerges from the shadows and levels a firearm in your direction. You instantly notice that it's not a proper rifle, but some kind of tranquilizer gun. Duck! You do as she says, ducking out of the way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. So, for the first time, we noticed that Reese has yellow eyes. He had blue eyes before, but now they're glowing yellow. And that is the same way that Wayne's eyes look. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out from between his ribs, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system.
You're going to have to try harder than that, you bit.
No. How did you?
As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh.
Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows between cracks in the wood, Reese's panic pulling in a mob of furious creatures to hold his enemy in place. The artist darts away, but his creations continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway as Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. You run forward, braving the onslaught of Reese's creations, dodging them as best you can as you try to see where Dr. Kelly went. The door in front of you is smothered in paint. Hey! Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unknown speaker, or unseen speaker. You, Mint. I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but you can help the both of us. Now what the hell is your son? What the hell is your son, ma'am? I wish I knew. He was fine until he hit puberty. Everyone said raising a teen was going to be a bitch, but they don't know the half of it. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you're there. You turn back around and head to the medical storage room. I'm here. Great. Now listen to me. I need you to use the black-taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's a bottle labeled carfentanil. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't going to cut it anymore.
An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good. You should hear this. Mint, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not gonna hurt anybody else, just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's just gonna shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers. Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in that basement or someplace even worse and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now, better than I felt in my entire life. I'm not dangerous, she's just scared because she knows she finally has to pay for what she's taken from me.
Can't you two just get along?
No, sorry, we're past that point. I want retribution. Even more than that, I want security. As long as she lives, I'm in danger.
Reese, I love you. I never wanted it to get to this point.
Try to make up for it now. It's too late. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance and you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Enough.
Reese cries out in pain. So if we have, we don't have it, but if we had keen eye, we would see a little strand of something yellow, the same yellow as their eyes, sticking out of Wayne's sleeve and like slithering back, like slithering inside towards his body. But we don't have keen eye, so we don't see that.
Ah, what the hell did you do to my shoulder? I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then.
The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick, grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room. So actually, I'll save it here, because this is, You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. You make your way out of the medical storage room and back to the hallway where Dr. Kelly disappeared. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the mass of paint sealing it shut. Hurry! I don't think I can keep it open for long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. Smears is what they're called officially in the files. Oh no, it's not looking good for that one. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. Sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here. What is this room? Old x-ray room. Lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote-controlled locks. Glad it finally came in handy. You didn't walk me to the door after my exam earlier. You must have known I might have gone looking for something. Why didn't you make me leave? She sighs. There's something about keeping a secret for so long. It makes you paranoid. It makes you do things you know are objectively wrong just to maintain the illusion of your life. It isolates you. At some point, you just don't want to be alone anymore, whether you realize it or not. So you get sloppy. You leave things around you shouldn't, because that destructive little part of you wants to test the limits of how obvious you can be before someone is able to put two and two together. I'm not blind. I can see that things are happening in Scarlet Hollow. Unusual things. I guess subconsciously I must have decided, if there was ever a time to let someone else in, it would be now. Let's talk Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead. I have nothing left to hide. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, then a few extra. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have had some kind of genetic disorder. I had him checked out at a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed, right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple inches and some facial abnormalities, enough to be noticeable. I was scared. He could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off, or maybe a hallucination. So that thing where he saw that she was scared and he stopped, that tells me that this whole situation would not have happened if she had not done what she explains what she's about to explain. But the second time, it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my my realm of expertise. How did he not know what he was? I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before, maybe 4 depending on what counts. This is just the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different, and I just try to make sure to stay on top of his dosage so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now. There's only so much I can do to control him. What is he? At first I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him, and you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess it'll just have to remain a mystery. Was his dad similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. I wish I knew. Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone, I just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. But then, all of a sudden, my period stopped. I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese. Yeah, the relationship between you seems so difficult. Yeah, you could say that. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever. No matter what, kids grow up and they change, sometimes for the worse. This is part of being a mom, too. This is part of being a mom, too. Doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people. Well, how do you know he's dangerous? Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number one. It's not like he's usually a violent kid. He's mostly just sad. But every now and then we butt heads, and that's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happens anytime he gets frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets road rage one day, turns into a 12-foot-tall monster with a million teeth, and rips somebody apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. I can fix him. Don't you think it might be a self-fulfilling prophecy? Oh, don't preach to me. Is he a sweet kid most of the time? Absolutely. And Ted Bundy was sweet to the people he picked up off the side of the road. So this is, like, I think the read here is that her, what caused all of this is that she had an improper reaction to the justifiable stress of her situation. And instead of trying to work with Reese and treating him like a person with agency, you know, and telling him what was going on and you know, trying to get things under control that way, she decided that she knew best and just started basically poisoning him. And you know, started giving him, she says at first she gave him benzos, and then later Sybil told her about the castor beans. Like, that obviously crosses a line, and while her fear was justified, it has created this situation that I don't think was inevitable. Didn't mean he didn't go ahead and slaughter them anyway. I know what my son is capable of, so it's my job to make sure he doesn't hurt anybody. And this like, it's like a pathological... She's like taking responsibility in a pathological way. Where it's like, I have to fix it, I have to protect everybody, I have to do this, and it's like, all of that is like harming Reese, rather than... I'll leave it at that. What is the game plan, both short and long term? Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, and then I lock him in here. And then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we all live happily ever after. There has to be some other way. It's just gonna make him feel trapped. It sure is, especially since I'll have to isolate him even more now that he knows what's going on. He's going to hate me. But you gotta work with what you've been given, and what I've been given is an ethical dilemma where I either let my son kill me, freeing him to go out and kill others, or imprison him for the rest of his life and force-feed him poison to keep him controllable. Or the third option, kill him. I've decided which outcome I can live with. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping? You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say that shit out loud. So, yeah, I think that she... Well, I'll show the rest of the scene first. Actually, let me save. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room. Shit, this might be game time. Get those tranks ready. We have to get this door open before he crosses the hallway. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. It looks fucking awesome.
Is this what you were so afraid of?
Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot. So we'll try giving her the tranquilizer darts first. You hand Dr. Kelly the tranquilizer darts. She quickly loads them into her gun, leveling the barrel at her son. Man, I thought we were in this together. Thank God. So, it's a little hard to see in this shot. It's much easier to see if you don't hand over the tranquilizer darts. He's got burns on his shoulder that look like electrical burns. They look like the marks that are left on somebody when they get hit by lightning. And if we consider that Wayne did something to his shoulder, and then if you have keen eye, you can see like a yellow, what looks like a tentacle or something retracting into Wayne's sleeve. I believe that was an electrical arc jumping, and that's the same thing that we're seeing in his eyes and Wayne's eyes. Wayne is a lightning boy. Wayne is made of lightning, and so is Reese. Dr. Kelly sighs heavily, staring down at the warped figure of her son. I can drag him into the safe room on my own. I'll meet you at the front when I'm done. Yeah, so on day 5, if you run into Reese, he says it feels like nerve damage. His arm is like, he can't feel his arm, and it's not, he's not able to move it. I hope you understand that this needs to stay between us. I don't care how much you feel like you need to share what just happened with other people. The more people know about this, the more trouble it is for me and for him. I don't need any more well-intentioned escape plans. Yeah, Wayne is something related to nerves or lightning, like a cross between those two. Yes, that's correct. And so Reese's father is, we don't know who it is. I'm pretty sure it is the stone in this building. We haven't had the chance to do this in either of our runs, but if you talk to Oscar on day 5, and you saved the library and Joan is alive, Oscar will tell you that the stones are, that there's something in the stones, that there's like some kind of creature in the stone that can talk to him. And he says that it's like one big superorganism, but it's made up of a bunch of smaller ones, and it's like broken up. And so Wayne is one of these things. There's one in each of the stones, but they are all part of a greater whole. So Wayne is not Reese's dad. I guess you might say he's more like his uncle. So, and I think that's why Reese looks exactly like Joan, because if Reese's dad is a lightning monster, it doesn't have any human DNA, so it just uses Joan DNA to make another Joan. Right. So Gotcha Hell 6897 says, if I had to give it a guess, it's something along the lines of human thought, essentially being lightning that zaps through your brain. Yes, so if Wayne is something like a living electrical pattern that can sort of act like a nervous system, then he can inhabit a human body and sort of fill in for its nervous system, or act in other ways. But he's not like literally just lightning, like he's also other stuff. But he's a very cool sort of creature. And they're pretty good about not tipping their hand too much about it. So you can come back here on day 5. I may show that later. And it's not going well if you do that. I'll drop a save there. It's not going well if you come back here on day 5. Reese is not happy. He's essentially going to be stuck in this room for the rest of his miserable existence, trying to transform, trying to get out, just like hurting himself on the walls. It's not a good time. So, would you like to see the other thing that can happen? This is, we will also not do this, but, someone says, you've made him a lot cooler to me. I just thought he was some kind of undead Jason Voorhees. Yeah, the fact that he's like a fake out Jason Voorhees. So, what if we don't give her the tranquilizer darts? You take a cautious step back from the doorway. It's not right. Stop messing around and hand them over now. Reese pushes his now massive form into the safe room, staring down at his mother. Reese, I'm so sorry. It's a great shot. Sorry you had to see that. What happened to Wayne? Wayne? Oh. I pushed him out a window. So yeah, we can see now much more clearly this, if you look at like pictures of people who've been struck by lightning, they get these kind of burns that leave like a really distinct mark that scars over in this like lightning shape. Be careful around him. Messed up my shoulder somehow, still isn't working right. He's evil, really evil. He hates me, I could feel it. Was he familiar to you? I'm not sure. I thought there was something in his voice that sounded like someone I know. Someone who isn't real. Do you feel better now? He sits, staring blankly for a moment, viscera still dripping from his maw. Yeah. I better go. But know that you have someone looking out for you in this town. So, we won't go that route, but that is a pretty interesting scene. We have the save trait, so we'll use it. You can also call Tabitha and something else happens that's very funny. You step forward. She loves you, Reese. Leave now before you do something you regret. Reese stares down at you, a pained sadness creeping into his unnaturally stretched face. I'm not a monster. He takes a step back, and then he's gone. You can hear his thudding footsteps receding down the hall, and the sound of the front door. How the hell did you manage that? I don't know. I clearly had some kind of effect on him. I guess he just trusts you or something. I doubt the rest of the town is going to be that fortunate. Dr. Kelly carefully makes her way to the entrance of the clinic, checking around corners, and you follow close behind. He's long gone. The door to the clinic hangs open, the night beyond seemingly empty. I should go after him. He's all keyed up. If I don't do something, he might go hurt somebody else. Let it go, Doc. Give him a chance to be free. I shudder to think what that means for someone like him. She sighs. But it's dark. He has better night vision than me. Going after him now would probably just end poorly. I hope you knew what you were doing. If I'm being honest with myself, it's been a long time coming. I couldn't keep this up forever. Something was bound to break eventually, and I suppose I should be grateful it didn't end with any of us dead. Yet. Dr. Kelly glances around the clinic, streaked with paint from Reese's minions. He could have made less of a mess of the place, though. I have to get cleaning. I'd appreciate it if you got the hell out of my house now. You do as the doctor says, walking out of the open door into the cool night. Atola Fiasco says the fact that it was this easy to get him to back down speaks volumes. I'm not sure that it was that easy to get him to back down. So, we don't know our father. And I've mentioned this on the previous streams. Nobody knows who our father is. We never met him. Vivian just got pregnant one day. Nobody knew who the dad was. And she was terrified that she was pregnant. And she fled town, even knowing about the curse and knowing what it would do to her, just to get out of town. So you can read that like she knew that she was the sister who was going to go in the wall and that her kid was going to be doomed to the same thing. Sure, that's a good reason enough to flee the town. Um, but why would you get pregnant? Why would you bring a child into the world if you knew that that was what was waiting for them? And even if you were like, okay, I'm going to get out of town, remember, she knows she's going to die if she leaves town. So what was her game plan? And I can only think that either she got pregnant from one of those entities, from one of the stones, without realizing that that would happen, and that's us, or she did it on purpose. And that's what makes us special, because Wayne tells us straight up when we arrive in town that we're special. And if we have mystical, we can tell him, the first time we see him, it's like, oh, you've known this presence your whole life, but you've never been able to like lay eyes on it, and now here it is. So I think that we are like Reese, except that Reese, not being a Scarlet or for some other reason, it has a different nature than the player character. And the devs have said that the player character is somehow special. They haven't said how, but I think that it is that we're not exempt from the curse keeping you stuck in town, but I think we are exempt from the curse stymieing everybody like it has. Like, Stella can't act even though she has powerful build. You know, we've been over how every major dilemma has somebody there who should be able to solve it, but they don't. Yeah, like the car crash killed Stella's parents. John Smith says, Vivian lived a lot longer than most people who fall prey to the curse. So Oscar explains that too. He says the curse doesn't just instantly kill you if you try to leave town. It lets you go, but it takes something from you, and if it needs you back, you will come back. So it's more like your fate is here, and you can't get away from that. So Kenneka was able to leave and go to school for a while. She was brought back because she had to help the store because suddenly, you know, her dad was dead, and so she had to come back for the funeral and then to run the store in his absence. You know, Stella was going to go off to college, and her parents died, and that, you know, made it so that she didn't. But she probably could have, like, gotten in another car and kept going, but she would have had to be back to do the things that she's supposed to do here. Right, and Tabitha's dad, so we also learned that the town curse doesn't affect you really unless you have roots here. So somebody who's only been here for a couple of years can just leave. So like Avery could get in their car and just drive away. They're not really like stuck here yet. But once it gets once you put roots down, you're in it. Like you're a part of this thing. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the day, crickets singing quietly in the sleepy little neighborhood. Zevitu says, only the Scarlets die? No, it's nobody can leave. And it doesn't... You can leave, but you can't leave for good. Something will always bring you back. Stella's parents were not killed to punish them for leaving. They were killed to trap Stella in the town. If you follow, like... Because once they died, she just kind of shut down and went into like a trauma response mode and is now like, you know, living in their house and just being sad all the time. Company store ass curse. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day, older Lord and deeper and dead. My favorite part of that song is where Tennessee Ernie Ford tells me he's going to beat the shit out of me and kill me. Someone says killing Stella's parents was still kind of an overreaction. I think it didn't just kill them to bring her back. I think it also killed them to traumatize her so that she wouldn't be able to be the hero. I think Stella is supposed to be, you know, the one stepping up and kind of saving everybody, and she can't do it. What kind of game is this? It's a visual novel, but it's like it plays more like an RPG, like a story-driven RPG, like Disco Elysium or something.
It's time for you to get home.
He appears as if out of nowhere, clothes streaked with what at first looks like blood and gore, but you quickly realize is paint, evidence of his altercation with Reese. He got all clawed up.
I'll walk you.
Thank God you're okay. I was worried Reese might have gotten you. Wayne emits a strange kind of coughing sound. You realize he's laughing.
Shall we?
Wayne walks just ahead of you in near complete silence. Do you know what happened to Stella?
She ran off, didn't she? Remember that. If you find her, she won't be there if you need her.
Did you know that Reese was like that?
I knew he was different. How exactly, I wasn't sure. But now I know. I should be able to make quick work of him next time.
He's just misunderstood.
He's not complex enough to be misunderstood. He's a miserable walking weapon that spends all his time feeling sorry for himself. It would be best for the world if he were put down.
Fruit Mekir says, do you think the protagonist is the ideal body for Wayne? Once we collect the stones or something, and that's why he hates for us to lose years of our life? Yes, I think that's the case. But I don't think it's the... So I think Wayne does want to... I think Wayne's goal is to get in the player character's body and leave town. And do God knows what out in the world. But I don't think he is... Like... I don't think that's a malicious plan on his part, because I don't think it's going to be like him controlling the player character like a puppet. I think it's going to be like a the player character's mind joining the collective of minds that is Wayne, because we know that we know that all of the people he's ever possessed are still in there. He talks about that on day 5. We'll see that in a minute. Also, the fact that he called Reese a walking weapon is interesting. It makes me think that like he was created for a purpose that just didn't work out or wasn't necessary. Well, the protagonist is tethered to this place. We cannot leave. That is made explicitly clear. If we try to leave, it doesn't work out. But our quest to get all these stones is going to break the curse. Like, that's our role. Our role here is to break the curse on the town and make it so that people can leave if they want to. Other people want to do other things, but that's our goal, basically. Why are you following me around? Why not Stella or Kaneeka or Sybil? Why not Tabitha?
Because you're special.
Why? Why am I so special?
You simply are. Do you not feel the ties that bind us? They are unbreakable.
Like the Krill from Star Trek. Yeah, I think so. I think it's something like that, but maybe it's a little bit more malicious. Like, in the last run, Kenneka called him the Devourer. So I think it's like he's like halfway between the is it the Trill? He wrote Krill, but I think it's Trill. I think it's like halfway between the Trill and like John Carpenter's The Thing. Like I think he's probably gonna like keep Katamariing people up into his collective mind. I thought you wanted me to stay at the estate. Aren't you going to lecture me?
You are free to make your own decisions, and those decisions have been made. I know that something pulls at you, and now that it's started, I know that you cannot stop until your task is finished. I'll keep you safe while you do what you must. You don't need to keep coming up with new topics of conversation to fill the silence. You're tired. It's been a long night. You should rest.
Wayne remains silent for the rest of his journey back to the estate.
I'm sure we'll see each other tomorrow.
The rakish sage says, ain't nothing good enough to come out of a thing, coming out of a thing called the Devourer. In fairness, Kenneka knows that name from Sybil, who was trying to eat Wayne.
Until then, sleep well.
He disappears into the underbrush. The estate feels empty, wind howling through its abandoned halls. The very foundation is creaking beneath you. Your cousin must have already gone to bed. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into your room and collapse on the bed. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming, a sign that the now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you, at least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You think for a moment about calling Kaneeka, but you're just too tired to even bother. I don't know that Wayne sleeps. I think he just hangs out in the in the house. You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. As you drift off, you think of Reese, out in the woods somewhere, truly free for the first time in his life. And then you think of nothing. So, we already did this, so I'm not going to watch the recap. But the recap shows that Kaneeka is missing from all of the recap scenes, which is our clue that something has happened to Kaneeka, and we're in love with Kaneeka. So let's fix that. A lonely piano refrain echoes through your head as you sleep. It feels like it goes on forever, clumsy and uncertain of itself, stopping and starting at random. That I really like too. I like that Wayne is not very good at piano. I assume he got that from Alexandra, who was a little girl. She was like 9 when she was put in. So, like, how good at piano would she be? Is this song a Slay the Princess leitmotif? I'm not sure. It might be. And yeah, the rakish sage says, I wonder if Sybil and this thing are very similar. I think they are. I think Sybil is less human than she appears, and more similar to Wayne than it would seem. And I think also, yeah, I think Wayne is a thing where we are supposed to perceive him as evil because he's like not he lacks compassion and all that, but I think he's not malicious so much as he is just like an organism with different, like, entirely different needs and an entirely different, like, mindset than a human being. But it's funny because he's clearly picked up mannerisms and feelings from the people he's absorbed, which we'll see in a minute here, I think. When it finally stops, you're startled by the sudden silence. You're awake now, cold and uncomfortable, your muscles stiff and achy, and your head still clouded with sleep. You realize there's a concerning lack of blanket and mattress. There's nothing beneath you but hard wooden floorboards, dusty and uneven. There's also a weight on your chest and claws digging gently into your skin. Your heart skips a beat. You're greeted by 2 beady eyes staring down at you over the twitching nose of the opossum that lives in your drawer. The other one is crouched in the corner, eyeing you warily. You are not in your room. Your lower lip trembles as tears well up in your eyes. They bubble over, streaming down your face as you lie on your back on the dirty floor, crying. The larger opossum in the corner seems unsettled, backing further away, but the opossum on your chest takes a step forward, resting a tiny paw on your cheek. It licks away your tears. You may have to take every vaccine known to man to make sure you don't get a disease from the interaction, but the kindness of the tiny creature is clear. That or likes the salt. You sniffle slightly, wiping away your tears, trying to gather yourself. You stagger to your feet, disoriented and exhausted, your limbs heavy and your head swimming. You stumble slightly, swaying as you try to keep your balance in the oddly tilted room. The opossum clings to your shirt with its tiny claws, holding on for dear life. You must be in the forbidden wing. And something I've pointed out before. So these walls are all lath and plaster, like we saw at the hospital. So it's a sheet of like plaster over wooden boards that are kind of like mortared together a little bit. You know it was him, Wayne. He wanted you to check out the Forbidden Wing, so he made sure you wouldn't have the chance to get sidetracked. The small opossum finally moves. It carefully makes its way down the length of your clothes, as if afraid you might notice if it moves too quickly. It hastens when it finds solid ground, hurrying to the larger opossum in the corner. The two stare up at you, not quite afraid, but clearly more wary now that you've risen to your full human height. Maybe they were watching over you as you slept, or maybe they were hoping you might be lunch. Either way, you're going your separate ways now. There are two doors out of the barren room. One is a normal doorway leading into what you assume to be a hallway. The other's a door that must have once been hidden, though the ruined state of the wallpaper has robbed it of its secrecy. There doesn't seem to be a clear way to open it besides a brass circle where the handle should be. You didn't bring a screwdriver into bed with you last night, and even if you did, you'd worry about damaging the ancient mechanism. Hopefully you can find the handle or another way out deeper in the Forbidden Wing. You lean forward, peering into the narrow opening that lies beyond the door. It's your room. So, Wayne's been staring at us through here. Which means you'd be able to slip right back into the safety of the rest of the house if you could just manage to find the handle. You've always believed in working smarter, not harder. The estate is massive. There's got to be a better way out of the Forbidden Wing than this. And maybe while you're looking, you'll catch a lucky break and stumble across the key. You make your way across the carefully slanted room and deeper into the Forbidden Wing. Before you is a long hallway. Dust dances in the weak sunlight, beaming in through cracked glass. A tinge of mildew stings your nose, warning you away, though there's nowhere else to run to now. An ornate entryway, its door long gone, breaks the monotony of the faded wallpaper, and a staircase looms at the end. You make your way to the dark doorway in the middle of the corridor. Seems like some kind of entertainment room, the sort you'd expect out of fancy rich people who wanted to show off. The stench of mildew is strong here, your already weakened lungs aching from the strain of breathing in such toxic air. You can see why Tabitha doesn't want you exploring these rooms. There's a large painting on the far wall of the room. From a distance, it looks like it might depict the town. John Smith says, are possums more susceptible to leprosy, or is it turtles you're thinking of? It's halfway between possums and turtles. The animal that has leprosy that you shouldn't touch is armadillos. That is funny that you were like... that is like the midpoint between possum and turtle. The painting highlights a number of old buildings and locales, many of which you've already visited. The town hall, the estate, the mines, and the clinic, still called a hospital at the time of this painting. And then there are the places you've yet to see, the church, as well as the historic Callaway Tremaine homesteads. This is a bit of a map, too. We see the estates here, the church is like right behind it. The faded bronze plaque beneath reads, "In memoriam of Enoch Scarlet, head of the Scarlet Hollow Landmark Revitalization Project. Let the past never be forgotten." You don't need to go risking life and limb to explore every nook and cranny of this house. You turn around and return to the hallway. You follow the path laid out in the dust. It takes you up a flight of stairs, the way down blocked by debris, and you find yourself on the third floor of the estate for the first time. There are more footprints leading all the way down the hallway into the farthest door. We try to move the boxes from the nearest door. You do your best to shove the boxes out of the way. They feel packed full of lead. You can practically hear your shoulders and hips creaking and straining with the effort, but try as you might, you can only budge them about an inch. Then they seem to cement themselves in place, and you find yourself gasping for breath after a few desperate pushes. At least you know the handle can't be in there. No one's been in that room for some time. It's not worth the strain. Those boxes can be easily moved if you're not old. However, we are old, so. Let's see, we got a Raggedy Ann. Or is that Andy? I can never tell. There's a little doll in here. This is dancing animals that look like bears and rabbits.
I want to know about bears and rabbits. Where is he?
The top shelf is occupied by antique picture books, Dick and Jane, books of nursery rhymes, ancient editions of Grimm's fairy tales. The lower shelves are full of educational material, from children's encyclopedias to writing practice workbooks. From the sheer number of learning-oriented books on the shelf, you get the impression that the children who lived here were not supposed to be as interested in fun and fiction as they were in diction and spelling. Your family may have been wealthy, but not in joy. Speaking of joy, the kitty is here. You leaf through a few of the practice workbooks, gently turning their near-crumbling pages. Reasons Mommy should take me and Mary Belle to the zoo. 1, we have been very good girls and have not cried for a whole week. 2, Mary Belle says elephants are so big and I would like to see one. 3, I think it would be very fun and Mommy would have a good time. All are signed with carefully scrawled signature of Alexander Scarlet. You flip through the rest of the book, your eyes unfocused as the many practice sentences and letter copying pages flash by. But something near the back of the book gives you pause. In a section that starts with the prompt, "Today I," Alexander continues with, "talked to the boy on the wall." Was there... Hold on, I want to see something. Is there a different... No, okay. At the window we just see more cliffs, so we'll just go down. Someone says, "I am starting to believe that they suffered from intergenerational trauma focused on hardened survival tactics instead of comfort and safety and luxury." Yeah, so nobody in this family has been having a good time since Enoch. Like, they made this deal with the devil to give themselves prosperity, but keeping that ball in the air has utterly consumed them, and they have never been happy. So, someone left it open for you. The room is starkly empty save for a rug and a few candelabras. The lack of dusty old boxes and rotting antiques marks it as distinct from the rest of the cluttered, forgotten spaces you've explored. We can see faintly there's a circle on the ground there. If we have mystical, we'll move the rug and see that there's like a magic circle. If you have keen eye, you can see what's behind that curtain. You continue forward toward the door on the far side of the room. Grub, you cannot play Scarlet Hollow. You exit into a short hallway. There are stairs here leading back to the lower floors, but there's also another... Kitty! She thinks I'm talking to her. Hi. My baby. Where's a good girl? Where's the baby? This is the baby Kinton. The Binton. The Bipton. The baby kitty. I'm worried because this is the mood she's in when she bites me usually. I gotta be careful. It's hanging ajar, the many locks and deadbolts along its edge glimmering in the weak morning light. So this is where Charlie climbed up the trellis and in through this window. We've been here in sort of Charlie's dream world. This is probably also where Wayne got shot. He probably came in this way and got... I kind of assume he kicked the door open, because he's strong, and he would have assumed like, oh, Tabitha is missing, she must be in there. And then he got shot for it. And also, this room has brick for walls, so while the rest of the house is made of lath and plaster, there's brick here, which would be, very difficult to claw your way out of. The doorframe itself is gouged and splintered, evidence that some desperate creature tried to save itself from the room beyond, again and again. That's also something I wonder about, like, how often has the entity been getting out of here? Was it just, like, constantly doing breakouts? Or, is it being, like, taken out for some purpose and then put back? You step forward. This was a prison cell. Everything about this place reeks of neglected humanity. The walls are covered in scratches, legible words mixed in with a nonsense of desperate clawing. The one window, set high in the far wall, is fitted with a thick pane of glass, as if the iron bars beyond it just wouldn't be enough to hold the imprisoned. You can't help but notice that the doll from your closet sits watching you from the bed, one eyelid drooping. It adds an extra layer of menace to the already deeply unsettling room. Property of Alexandra. Your eyes are drawn to the massive almost letters, dug as deep as the brick in the cell's prisoner... Dug as deep into the brick as this cell's prisoner could manage, highlighted with whatever pigments were available. And then one final detail grabs you. A metallic glint from the filthy bare mattress. A doorknob. So there's a bucket here, which is obviously a toilet bucket. There's blankets. This is a person was kept in here. So yeah, it probably needed food. It, had the same basic needs that a human being would have. But no comfort whatsoever. This is what you've been looking for. Was it left here for you? As you take it, a sound wraps around you. Music. The tinkling of piano keys, played by a clumsy hand. They echo up a narrow staircase at the end of the hall. I'll save it real quick again. Oh, yes.
Illy worm girl tie for being you. Revolving hearts emoji.
Tie for being you, revolving hearts emoji, Internet Crow 9805. Gorb. Marlon says, I wonder why there's anything liquid at all left in the chamber pot. Because Alexandra only died like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And not long at all. And just nobody's cleaned anything up. Wayne is still using the bucket. He thinks it's better than the guest bathroom. Yeah, maybe. The stairs take you into what you assume was once a servant's quarters, a network of cramped passageways hidden away behind the expansive rooms of the estate without so much as a window for illumination. But you persist and descend deeper into the bowels of the Scarlet estate, the echoing piano your only company. Soon enough you see light again, the sun creeping in through the edges of a nearly hidden door. You're at the end of another long corridor. Its high ceilings and tall windows are almost disorienting as you step out from the cramped, gloomy stairwell. The music echoes mournfully in the vast space, a chorus of wind adding a melancholic harmony as it whips in from the overgrown courtyard outside. You've found your way to the first floor, which means you must be close to the ballroom from the first day. Yeah, so this is just the Scarlet Hollow theme that he's playing now. But I do wonder if the other song was a cameo. Yes, Binton. Baby Binton Grub Kitten. The musician plays on as you move cautiously through the dark, the slope now so dramatic that it feels like walking downhill, jagged remains of the floorboards jutting out like splintered trees. The flow of notes finally stops as you reach an open doorway to what was once a music room. Wayne stands from the bench of a battered grand piano, turning to face you.
So now you've seen it, Mint.
He makes his way down the tilted floor toward you. A breeze passes by him, carrying with it the smell from the wound that is his body.
I hope you enjoyed the show.
He stops a few paces away.
And I trust you understand the implications of everything you've seen. If you aren't careful and you put your faith in the wrong people, things could go very, very wrong for you.
What was with the doll in the room?
She liked it, so I liked it too. It was nice to see it again after so many years.
Who lived in that last room? Wayne cocks his head almost playfully.
I did. I'd been in that room a long, long time. Though my being free...
Grub, you're ruining the moment. Wayne's reaction is very funny if you bring Stella in here.
Though my being free is now meaningless in the grand scheme of things. The town itself is enough of a prison that I may as well be still stuck behind that door. But at least I'm free enough to warn you.
What do you mean the town is a prison?
I can't leave. No one really can. As it stands now, Scarlet Hollow doesn't like letting go of its prisoners. They may be able to cross the town line, but not without paying a price. That can be changed, though. It wasn't always this way, and it was never meant to be. We can put an end to it.
What's with the dramatics? Isn't this all a little theatrical?
There were things you needed to see, and I doubt you would have been interested in a private guided tour. Not when I'm the one who would have been giving it. And once I'd helped you find what you needed to find, I wanted you to choose to come to me, to know you were truly open to a conversation.
You're still not telling me everything, are you?
Do you want to be somebody else's puppet, Mint? I can guide you to where you need to be, but it is up to you to open your eyes. The witch holds some of the final pieces. Find her, pry them from her hands, and then everything should start falling into place.
Your thoughts wander, searching for someone who might fit that description. You draw a blank.
Unless you're already starting to forget about her. Memory is a disloyal thing, isn't it? Physical, easily manipulated. But something being missing from your head doesn't mean it's gone from the world.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You'll remember when you need to.
Does Tabitha know about all this? Wayne's face has to be crazy for the ghost veil to be better than just showing it off. I wonder if Pearl-Ann domed him. Maybe. Yeah, we don't see... There's no bullet hole in his clothes, so his head might have gotten clipped. If you have street smart and powerful build on day 2 when you run into him at the mine, you can actually rip his veil off. You only see his head silhouetted, but it doesn't... There's not like a obvious chunk missing or anything.
Of course. Why do you think she invited you here?
Oh, that absolute bitch.
Indeed she is. And hopefully one who won't get the chance to cause any more undue suffering.
Did you need to carry me off in my sleep?
A moment of weakness. I was impatient.
How did I not wake up?
You've been a heavy sleeper lately. This town has been demanding so much of you. And I was gentle.
He's got some jokes here. He's good. I trust you, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do about any of this. Wayne's shoulders seem to relax slightly, as if he's relieved. And again, that's like, you know, these very human mannerisms that make it hard to just say like, oh, he's just a Cthulhu monster.
Good. Our enemies rely on keeping us divided. They know how much stronger we can be together. Be careful who you trust. I will always be there when you need me.
Wayne steps away, his shining eyes watching you unblinking from behind his veil before finally disappearing back into the darkness of the estate. I want to save, and I want to actually create a save at this point. Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll load here. Okay. Nothing left for you to do here but leave. Make your way back to the handle where you woke up and slot it into its secret door. It twists and the door pulls back and you stumble through your closet and back into your bedroom. You lean against the doorframe, relieved at once again having sturdy, unsloped ground beneath your feet and moderately clean air to breathe. The estate has gotten to you. After the events of the morning, your body burns with a ferocious itch to leave this place behind, to be anywhere but here. You leave in a haze, mindlessly grabbing clothes and an uncharged phone, barely even noticing your surroundings as you rush outside, the morning's revelation seizing your body and mind alike with a suffocating grip. The cell, the doll, Wayne's insinuation that Tabitha has known about all of this, and even more that she has willingly partaken in your family's crimes. Not only that, but she has designs for you. Is it true? I'll also drop a save here. She needs to explain herself. There's nothing else that could possibly ease the growing pit in your stomach. And if she can't explain all of this, she'd better have an explanation. Maybe it's time to confront her and see what she has to say for herself. I'm not ready to make a move. I'm going to the library to get more information. So because we have a little bit more time here today because the police haven't been on us, that kind of determines how much time you have to like run around. You're winded to the point of nausea long before you reach the library, but the adrenaline that's coursed through your veins since discovering the cell in the Forbidden Wing pushes your body forward. Hey, it's Mint. That's an adult, right? Totally. Mint, I feel like you always show up when we need you, and, Mr. Gutierrez has been in the hole under Rosalina's room since, like, yesterday. He won't come out, and he yelled at us when we tried to go down there, so we stayed over at my place, but my parents are kind of sick of sleepovers. And I said Rosalina has to go back to her house, but then Mr. Gutierrez is still under her room, and I don't think he wants us around, and he's talking to himself. Yeah, he's kind of scaring us. So maybe you could go talk to him for us. What kind of stuff has he been talking about? I don't know, a lot of stuff about the rock we found down there. Have you seen this old movie, The Amityville Horror? He sounds like the guy in that who tried to kill his whole family. Did anybody see the, like, 2004 or 2005 remake of Amityville Horror? It was so bad. Sterling says I did. Who was the dad in that one? I'm trying to remember. They had a very funny guy as the dad, and it was like watching him like go berserk on his family was very funny. Don't worry, I'll go check on him. Thank you, thank you. I hope he listens to you and doesn't just yell. Also, not everyone here will know this. We confirmed these two are gay for each other. If you use Street Smart to get them out of there, one of the lines will mention that that Alexis has a crush on Rosalina. It was Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, and he's like screaming at his family and like attacking them and stuff. And it's like, man, this is not the right guy for this. Especially because it was like a 23-year-old Ryan Reynolds. He was so young. He's like, you head to the library's annex and cross into Oscar's house. Rosalina's room is exactly as it was on Wednesday night. The very moment Stella opened the trapdoor, the carpets pulled back, the hatch leading into the basement standing wide open. It sends an uncomfortable shiver down your spine, remembering the way it felt to see it in the twisted mind of a dead man. Just a quick... the skull face. I think the shirt here says babes. And here's a babe with a sword. We got... is it, everybody listen to the cool siren that is like a million... it's like so loud in here. Is this Midori and somebody else from MHA? Or is this Is Teen Interest's a new poster? No, but Avery was standing in front of it the whole time we were in here before. Got some drawings or printouts. This is the Zuby bunny that yells about her 4th of July diet. I mean, it's not literally, but that's just what I see. Non-threatening... Many Boys is here. Yeah, this is Teen Interests. No, I just assumed it said I was confused. I thought it said non-threatening boys, which is pretty funny, but not what it is. Oh, non-threatening boys is from, that's from The Simpsons. Lisa's reading a magazine called Non-Threatening Boys at one point. But that dead man is gone. You know he is. And now the only occupant of the dirt hole beneath Rosalina's room is Oscar, his muttered voice rising up from the open hatch. Oscar, your daughter needs you right now. Oh, hey, is that Mint? You'll have to come down. I can't hear you from up there. You descend into the basement to find Oscar, crouching on the dirt amid a pile of muddied paper. There are markings scrawled on their off-white surfaces, words, symbols, all forming odd patterns. We got a situation here. We got a Cthulhu Lovecraft situation. Mint, just who I was hoping to see. You would not believe the discoveries I've made, or maybe you would given everything you witnessed this week, but it doesn't matter, because I finally have someone to share this with. Because let me tell you, Rosalina was not ready to hear about everything I learned. Don't get me wrong, I get it, she's just a kid, and she's had a miserable week. But you're Mint, you're an adult, your brain is fully formed. No, I see that look in your eyes. Before you say anything, let me catch you up to speed. The town is alive. Well, maybe alive isn't quite the right word. Do you know about the Portuguese man war? Colloquially, we refer to it as a single organism, but it's actually a colony of different organisms working together as one unit. Genetically, they're all the same, but I'm rambling. Scarlet Hollow's like that, but the different organisms are these stone carvings, like this one right here. The individual members of the colony are waking up now, and I've been talking to one of them for hours. It's proving to be an invaluable research assistant. What exactly do you mean by talking to one of them? Talking isn't quite the right way of putting it, but what is? What is? The connection I formed with the carving, it's almost psychedelic. And much like psilocybin or LSD, there are profound truths that it has to offer that an expanded mind naturally and rightly intuits is correct. You can imagine these stone carvings as nodes on a web or organs in a body. I'm mixing my metaphors, but the important part is that there's connective tissue binding them all, and that web is Scarlet Hollow. We're all trapped in that web. I mean, you say all of us are caught in it. I mean anyone who passes through this town, but there's a cumulative effect. The longer you stay, the deeper your ties, the more tangled up you get. If you drift into town to work at the mines for a few months before heading back out, you might just be left with a spell of bad luck. Maybe a tug at the back of your mind telling you to go back, that things were better here. I certainly felt that tug. Years and years of it. I always thought it meant that I was weak, that I wasn't cut out for life outside the holler. I can't tell you how good it feels to finally know that it wasn't my fault. There's a simple explanation. I could never truly leave. It wasn't my fault. If that's all true, then how did my mom manage to leave? I don't know, maybe she figured out a way to unwind herself from the web or stretch it out as thin as she could. Perhaps knowing about the nature of Scarlet Hollow is enough to resist its pull, even if the resistance takes a terrible toll on a person. Though it's possible that knowing only meant she could force herself to stay away for as long as she could, despite the consequences. From what I heard, there were consequences. Proland could have embellished how hard it was for her out there, but the cancer, that was a fact, wasn't it? And she didn't leave forever anyway. The town got part of her back. You. So all this time, it really has been aliens. I knew it. I don't know, that feels too simple an answer, too comprehensible. That's certainly not little green men, nothing like a man at all. But I don't have enough evidence to start narrowing down the origins, not in the least. What we need to do first is... Dad? Rosalina and Alexis leaned down the hatch, silhouetted in the sunlight pouring through the bedroom windows. Rosalina, sweetheart, I'm in the middle of something at the moment. You've been down there forever. Alexis is hungry. I'm hungry. You've got to be hungry, too. Can't you just come upstairs for food? Last night, it's only been a few hours. Mr. Gutierrez, it's Friday now, and like almost noon. Oh, is that right? Friday. Oscar sighs, rubbing the bridge of his nose. His glasses have left deep marks in his skin, irritating and red. I see. I'll be up in a second. You said that... I promise this time. Mint is just about to leave, and then I'll come up. Come up now. The pizza rolls are already on the counter. They're gonna defrost if they're out much longer, and I don't know how to work your oven. You hear the girls' footsteps above you as they walk back toward the kitchen, talking amongst themselves. The connection is weaker now anyway. Maybe the stone wants me to take a break too. A minute before I forget. He reaches for one of the books on the floor, casually ripping a page free and holding it out to you. It's a map of Scarlet Hollow. There's another one on Julius Tremaine's farm. It's already starting to wake up. Go there, do what you've done with the others, and hopefully I'll have more for you when you're back. I'll refuel, make sure the girls are squared away. Then it's back to work, if the carving still wants to talk. And before I go, I should tell you what I found this morning. As you recount your journey into the Forbidden Wing, every harrowing detail, Oscar seems to grow pensive, restless. He keeps glancing out the stone, his lips partially forming words that are never quite audible. He pauses when you finish, as if listening to something you can't hear. Yes, I see. Makes sense that your family, the Scarlet family, has a connection to the nature of Scarlet Hollow. That isn't surprising. I assumed as much. But you shouldn't pay too much mind to what you found in the estate. Not yet. Missing the forest for the trees, you understand, yes? The important thing, that is, the bottom line, is the town, or at least part of the town I've been in contact with, wants to be free of itself. It's as trapped as all of us, after all. And if we help cut it loose, it doesn't matter what your family has done or whether Tabitha has any knowledge of it. So focus on that goal. We focus on the carvings. Wayne wanted me to find someone he called the Witch. Do you have any idea who she is or how she might come into play? Is that so? The Witch. That word feels heavy, doesn't it? Important. At least to the carving. If Wayne mentioned it, he must have goals in common with the carving. This witch is familiar to it. There's anger. I see. Of course she brought them here. It's her fault. It wants you to destroy her. You're not going to wind up like Charlie, are you? I doubt it. I'm a living man. I imagine it's much harder to twist something like me than, say, the remnants of a shattered mind not tied to a physical body. So as long as no one's planning on murdering me, I'm sure I can handle a little communication with unfathomable beings. Especially considering I had the advantage of going to college after the discovery of certain, substances. That is to say, I have plenty of experiences navigating this sort of enhanced state. Experience that I'd wager Charlie didn't possess. You've done enough, Oscar. Take care of yourself and your family. I'll handle the rest of this. Yes. I've been down here a long time, haven't I? This thing is as dangerous as it is helpful. So easy to lose myself in conversation. I'll rinse off, cook for Rosalina and myself. I should probably eat too. But once I've refueled, I can come back down. I don't know why this carving has chosen me, but it's already helped us so much, hasn't it? For the first time since that bloodstain appeared on the carpet, I actually feel useful. I'm gonna make it count. You and Oscar climb out of the basement together. You attempt to say parting words, but he quickly ushers you out the door, clearly already eager for the chance to return to his rock. You exit the library, finding yourself back on Main Street with a map to Julius Tremaine's homestead in hand. Where can you possibly turn to next? So I will save because there's a funny thing we can do here. But let's go confront Tabitha. The events of this morning beg for an immediate confrontation. By the time you notice where your legs are taking you, you're already en route to the Scarlet Mines. You stumble down the road, your panicked thoughts directing themselves like pointed arrow toward your destination. Things will make sense again, just as soon as you get where you're going. There are no picketers outside the mine today. The only sound is the constant low industrial clanking of unending productivity. The only sign of life is the slow-moving machinery beyond the rickety chain-link fence. The Scarlet Hollow mines are ticking along, just as they always have. There's nothing here to stop you seeing your cousin. Here you are, outside of your cousin's office. The only thing left to do is go inside. You don't bother with announcing yourself, grabbing the doorknob and twisting it open. You enter your cousin's office. She's seated at her desk, shotgun in hand, cleaning its mechanisms with focused intent. But your cousin isn't the only person in her office today. Stella's here, too. Stella, who was missing all day yesterday. Stella, who you tore up most of Scarlet Hollow to find, standing here like nothing happened. Wow, hey, it's Mint. Hello, you're here. Yes, Stella, my cousin's here to bother me at work. It's not exactly a surprise. Don't be weird. There's a weird energy in here, an eagerness in their eyes, like circling cats eyeing what they hope might be a particularly stupid mouse. Stella darts across the room, turning the lock on the office door and slamming the bolt shut. Stella, what the hell are you doing? I'm doing the plan we talked about? Stella, Jesus Christ, it's too early for this. I told you I had everything sorted out. There was a timeline. Come on, Tabitha, your version of having things sorted out was so convoluted. You gotta learn to seize the moment. And in this moment, Mint is right here, alone. And you said we needed Mint, alone. So this is perfect. We're just gonna have a talk, okay? So go ahead and sit down and we can sort everything out. Why did you lock the door? I just thought this was a good chance for the three of us to have some private time, so I wanted to make sure nobody could come in or go out. Stella, you're not helping. Oh, no, you're right. That sounded scary, didn't it? I'm really not trying to scare you, Mint. For real, we're all friends here and it'll stay that way. I promise. Who knows, by the end of this, maybe we'll be even closer than that. God damn it, we're really doing this, aren't we? Okay, sit down. What if I don't want to sit? What if I'd rather stand? See, Stella, this is part of the issue. My cousin is an obstinate ass. Come on, Mint, you're already here. It's not any worse to sit down than it is to stand, though I bet you'd be more comfortable. It's hard to ignore the weakness of your current position. Not only are you outnumbered, you're outgunned. And clearly they both know something you don't. You sit, even though you don't grace your host with a verbal acknowledgement. Behind you, Stella drags another chair toward the door, propping it under the handle. Sorry, just making extra sure we don't get interrupted. Tabby, do you wanna... Trying to talk to Mint was your idea, Stella, not mine. You take the lead. Okay, so, not so easy, is it? That's how I felt last night, too. Yeah, where do I even start? Okay, magic is real. That's obvious at this point. Even if you could write off the ditchlings as weird creatures or the hallucinations or whatever, Charlie isn't something you can easily explain as anything but magic. So there's no debate there, right, Tabby? Yeah. And I'm sure you've noticed, Mint, that your family is connected to all this. There's no coincidence. It was after the collapse. Enoch. The town was going to fall apart, so he made a deal. He saved Scarlet Hollow, but deals usually come at a cost, right? So he had to trade something for the town's salvation. Though the price was only paid by Scarlet's. It's always been paid by Scarlet's. A Scarlet is locked away from the world, bound to the estate by magic, and in return the town itself prospers. There isn't a Scarlet locked away anymore, which is why everything has started falling apart. The deal is broken, well, temporarily broken, and there's only so much time left to fix it. That's where you come in. You're a Scarlet. You have the power to save this town if you're willing to use it. And I don't see why you wouldn't. If I could do it instead, I would, and save the whole town, you know I would, especially since that would mean spending the rest of my life with Tabby. I can imagine worse fates. I mean, really what we're offering is free room and board for life. We'll make it nice for you, really spruce up the place. And I'd cook for you, of course, like your own personal chef. And we could play games and let you watch movies and keep you up with the news. Doesn't have to be such a bad thing. You could even still stream. We'd have to watch to make sure you don't accidentally spill the beans about the whole situation, but still, it's not like being there would be any worse than Salem. Tabby could even drive out to Salem to pick up truck for you. That's our cat. So what do you say? This conversation is like on a timer, so I want to. Nadir Ebb says this is genuinely not that bad of a deal. Did you see the room? Did you see the room? Stella, how do you know Tabitha's told you everything there is to know about this? I don't think you understand how well I know Tabby. She told me about the room you'd be staying in, and I've seen enough to know she's telling me the truth. Tabitha remains conspicuously silent. I've seen the room where our family kept those other Scarlets. It's not exactly a luxury suite. That's where I come in. You can do a lot with a small space these days, you know, tiny living. It's a trend right now. See? It's trendy. We're going to be doing better than Tabitha's older relatives ever could. This isn't some kind of divine punishment. We care about you. We want you to be happy. We can get you a plant. I've heard those are good for air quality and morale because we're nice. We care about that stuff. Yeah. It's a plant. The plant's not doing too good. And maybe we can move you to a bigger room eventually, once we've done some work on the place. But we can only do work on it if it stays standing, and it only stays standing if, you know, you do this. So I think we actually can, because we don't have any police heat right now, we can get a secret ending. Okay. I'll do it. Huh? Really? See, Tabitha? I knew I could get through to them. We just had to talk it out. So, now what? I didn't plan for this. Nothing's ready yet. This was all supposed to happen after the funeral. What do we do until then? Just act normal? I know. How about we start redecorating? Like the office? No, the room where Mint will be staying, duh. We can't put anybody in there the way it is now. But this gives us plenty of time to fix it up, and the rest of that whole abandoned side of the estate, too. It'll need renovating long term, of course, but that doesn't mean we can't sweep the leaves and fix the windows in the meantime. Come on, Mint, let's get your new digs looking like one of those ads for tiny homes. Tabitha, do you have any paint at the estate? There might be some. How many decades can paint last? Is 50 years too long? The three of you leave the office together, Tabitha gripping your wrist tight, clearly still afraid you might bolt if she's not careful. But you don't. You follow along as Stella leads you down some trail she says will get you back to the estate unnoticed. And the whole way she goes on happily discussing how she'll spruce up the dingy cell you stumbled upon earlier today. The way she talks about it, it does sound like it could be nice. The two of them looking after you, cooking, cleaning, giving you anything you could want that might fit inside the new bounds of your world. Guaranteed comfort. Not so bad a price to pay for saving a town. This is the end of your playthrough of episode 5, but it might not be the end of you. Mint's story will continue to its conclusion with the release of the final chapters. In the meantime, there is so much more to explore in this episode should you choose to walk a different path. If you'd like to carry your progress over to the final chapters, please save your game now. I will drop a quick save. And then I will load this situation. Yeah, so the room was not in that miserable condition because they didn't love the people who were in there. The room was not in that miserable condition because they didn't have time for the people who were in there. The room was in that miserable condition because it wasn't their family member in there. It was fucking Regan from The Exorcist, right? We know from Charlie's vision that the entity gets you when you go in there, and we know that what Charlie spoke to when he was there was the entity. It wasn't Teddy, you know. Astronomaly says Wayne is about to jump them as soon as they get back to the estate. I think not. I think he is limited. I think he can't act against Tabitha directly or any of the Scarlet. I think he can't like harm the Scarlets. Like that's part of the agreement. Yeah, so I'll say that. You're better than this, Stella. You know this is wrong. You can tell she sugarcoated it for you. You really think she's stupid, don't you? She's not stupid. I know this because I know her. There's a reason she's been successful in life, and it's not dumb luck. It's determination and the ability to change and adapt to what needs to be done in order to keep succeeding. That's what she's doing now. She knows I've been honest with her and that this is what needs to be done. Isn't that right? Look at the way Stella's looking at her. So this is a real like folie à deux situation. Obviously in this scenario, like neither of them are happy. Yeah, it is. Neither of them are happy. Neither of them are going to be happy. This is going to be a constant misery. It's going to destroy them like it destroyed everybody else who got near it. They support each other in the worst ways. So Tabitha's giving Stella like this like praise and consideration that she never gave her before. Like, she never spoke to Stella that way the entire time that we've been here. And in fact would have said the opposite of all of that. You know, she said she's persistent and like hard to get rid of, but they're like filling in the blanks for each other in ways that are preventing each other from engaging with reality or growing as people. It's codependency. I'm sorry. I know this must feel like such a horrible thing to ask of you, but I care so much about this town. Everyone I know is here, my whole life. I'm sure if someone asked this of you to protect your city, including everyone in it, you would see why I feel this way. What if I say no? Do you let me walk out? I don't think you should say no. Not because we'll do anything, that's not a threat, just because I don't think there are really any other options for you. Yeah, if you try to leave town, you're not going to get far. Trust me. Again, not a threat, just reality. Either you do it and the whole town recovers, or you don't and the town just keeps getting worse, and we're all stuck here. It's not like there are good options here. You'll have to force me. Stella, this is pointless. Damn. Since we're all being honest here, I'll go ahead and let you know that I've tipped the line to the police. There's a button here behind the desk. I think we're done talking, so let's sit here in polite silence for a bit. I'm sure it won't take long for them to get here. It's not like they ever have much going on. That's pretty stupid. I'm going to tell them everything. Oh, and I'm sure they'll believe you, some lunatic who just wandered into town, over me, the person who they've known for years, who happens to hold most of the political influence around here. And before you go rambling about how you'll bring them up to the estate and show them everything, I know that our family has kept that room hidden for years. They'll never find it. And I may have to let them in, but I can leave you out in the cold while they go looking. So it's not even like you could show them the way. Bint, we are very, very practiced at this. One way or another, you'll be stuck in here. In there. I promise you that. And we'll make it nice. It's okay that you're upset right now, but we won't let that influence the way we treat you, okay? We still care about you. A knock at the door interrupts the unpleasant conversation. Miss Scarlet, permission to enter? Stella, the door. Right, sorry. Is it possible to win this conversation like it is with Tabitha solo? Yes. It's very hard. You have to really, really... So the thing is, to get this conversation, You have to have not broken Tabitha of the notion that she should go through with things, which you can do inadvertently without her ever like talking to her about it, and you have to have not gotten enough points with Stella that you oh, you have to be in a relationship with Stella. That's right. Yeah, if you're in a relationship with Stella, you can. Or is it a relationship? I don't remember. No, I think you have to not be in a relationship with her. Anyway, there's a way to do it where your sort of friendship with the both of them overrides what they were planning, kind of midstream, and it's very emotional. I think the achievement is called "Can't We Go Back to the Way It Was Last Night?" I got chips. Miss Scarlet, what seems to be the problem? My cousin's harassing me, to the point that I fear for my safety. Isn't that right, Stella? That's right, and they're trespassing too. I think it would benefit the health and safety of Scarlet Hollow if you took Mint in and gave them some time to cool off. I don't think the mountain air agrees with them. I knew it. I always had a bad feeling about you, Mint. Don't try anything that'll make this easy. You have the right to remain silent. Fine. We should swing by the estate on your way to the station. There are some things you should see. You are not the owner of that property, therefore you can't give me permission to enter without a warrant. As the owner of that said property, I don't give you permission. There you have it. I'm not the kind of man to go breaking into people's houses, so how about we skip the detour and I just take you straight back to the station. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Deputy Franklin whips out a pair of handcuffs, tightening them quickly around your wrists in a smooth police academy maneuver. Sorry, Mint, but this is for the best, okay? We'll make sure to come get you before the funeral. But just as the cuffs click into place, the officer's radio crackles to life. Franklin, pick up already. We ain't got all day, boy. Sheriff, apologies, sir. I was just seeing up this, to a situation up the mines. Miss Scarlet tipped the you-know-what. It's all resolved, though, now. I have Mint in custody. That's nice and all, but we need you up at the farms pronto. Got ourselves a possible 187 brewing. You're talking about a possible murder. 10-4. Wait, at 187? That's a murder. So, that's your proof that she has street smart if you needed it. Ma'am, we've been over this before. Please stop listening in on police frequencies. Alright, kid. I don't think I got the time to take you to the station, so you'll just have to cool off in the back of the squad car. What? No, you've got to be kidding me. You're going to take my cousin with you to an active crime scene? That's not why I called you. You can't put my cousin in danger, you hear me? Franklin, quit pussyfooting around up there. We need you here ASAP. 10-4, Sheriff. I'm afraid I have to, ma'am. If Mint is a threat to the safety of the town, it's my duty to make sure that threat is contained. This could be good. The handcuffs aren't great, and being in the back of a cop car doesn't exactly sound like your element. But it's better than here, a confined space with 3 people and multiple guns. Getting away from the people who want to lock you in a tiny room for the rest of your life seems preferable. You can figure out your escape later. Then I'm coming too, and I'm taking my own car, so you can't stop me. I highly advise you don't do that, ma'am. Your advice has been taken into consideration. There, I considered it, and I'm going. I don't trust this. Stella, stay here and man the fort or something, or go home, whatever. I'll call you later when everything's settled. Do you think it could be... Their voices go quiet as Deputy Franklin drags you out of the office and out toward the squad car. You are deposited in the back seat, the door slamming harshly behind you. The issue at the mines has been resolved, Sheriff. I'm en route. Franklin starts up the sirens. They blare as he pulls out of the mines, speeding down the road toward whatever emergency is underway with you in tow. This is possibly one of the few times he's ever been able to do this, and despite his sunglasses and stiff demeanor, there is a definite excitement in the way he cruises around the treacherous mountain turns. As the car pulls up to the farms, you feel it again, a tingling at the back of your skull, an urgency almost like a hand pressing you gently forward with the threat that it might become more forceful if you don't comply. Like so much crying that can only stop if you tend to it. There's another stone here. It's getting harder to ignore them. Deputy Franklin gets out of the car, leaving you in the back as he joins the assembled crowd. Alright, Sheriff, what's the situation? I'll tell you what the damn situation is. That bastard Julius got a hold of my boy and he won't let him go. This is a kidnapping, and you fellas better get in there and shoot that rat bastard shit stain before I do it myself. There, now you're up to speed. Franklin, you're with me. Let's head in and get a handle on things. I better go in first. That son of a bitch has a place all strung up with traps, but I know how to spot him. Mr. Calloway, it would be best if you stay out here with your wife and me. This is police business now. As far as I see it, this is my family's business and always has been. Whether or not you finally decide to get your sorry asses out of here to finally do something about it. It's your fault he ever decided to take it on himself to go investigate what happened to Big Betty. All because you didn't listen. That's right, so now you owe me. I'll bring up the rear if that makes you feel like a big tough guy, but you can't stop me. Not when my boy's in trouble. All right, I hear you. Your boy's in there, you want some peace of mind, I understand that. But don't go making more problems than we already got. You hear me, Duke? Leave that gun with Irma. Fine. Here, if something happens to me in there, you know how to use it, and you best use it. Please try and refrain from making threats of violence in front of officers of the law. And you fellas better go and get our boy back. Without another word, the officers split up. Derrickson heads for the squad car while the three men start up the hill to Julius's shack. Irma stands on her porch, clutching the shotgun and watching the other house intently. Hey there, Mint. Sorry you had to come along for the ride. We'll have you back at the station soon enough. Sounds like this won't take long to settle. In the meantime, I'll keep you company. The thing calling out to you is starting to lose its patience. You need to find a way out of here before it gets angry. Could you let me go, please? I haven't done anything wrong. Oh, I'm sure you haven't. But that's why we're going to bring you in to answer a few questions, so we can prove as much. And if we see that you really aren't a threat to the town, we'll let you go, and that'll be that. How am I supposed to prove that? You just gotta trust the system. We'll get to the bottom of things. It's our whole job. But you can start by sitting quietly while we wrap up this particular investigation. Or we might get you on obstruction of police activities. Who's to say? Do you think Duke might escalate things? Oh, I'd bet on it. But it's not me who makes the big decisions. Sheriff Hugby always has the final say. And I suppose Duke made a good point about those traps. He does know him better than any of us. Maybe he winds up being more useful than not. At the very least, he won't be pissed at us when things don't go the way he wants. Nothing else to do but wait. There's a sound coming from the house on the hill, shouting, angry and panicked. A frantic voice crackles over the radio. Derrickson, man down, the sheriff is down. What did I tell him? I told him to be careful and follow my lead. Now look at him. Mr. Calloway, if you could please clear the line and let Deputy Franklin give me a proper status report. Deputy, is he breathing? And do you have eyes on Mr. Tremaine and the hostage? We're on our way to the basement now, sir. You better be careful, meathead, if you don't want to wind up like you hear an ungodly noise over the radio. A gunshot and then static. Franklin, report. But there's only silence. Damn it, Franklin. Deputy Derrickson hesitates briefly outside your door as if hoping someone might leave the farmhouse without his getting involved. But after a few seconds, he's heading up the hill, yelling something to Irma. The front door opens. A long arm reaches in, grabbing Derrickson's keys where they were left on the dashboard. Mint! Reese frees you from the car, hunching beside you as he fumbles with the tiny keys, made even smaller in his monstrous hands. I'm sorry I couldn't step in earlier. I hope you weren't too scared in there. The handcuffs fall to the ground with a metallic clatter. Reese is still talking, but you aren't really hearing him, your mind fuzzy as the stone calls out to you, drowning out the world. It's so much louder outside the car. I have to get to the farmhouse. Stone in there. Stone, like in the morgue. I won't stop you, but he's interrupted by the sound of another car pulling up to the farms. Oh, shit. Reese, what are you doing here? He runs off without saying another word. Reese! This is just another distraction. Hey, what the hell just happened? But you didn't have time to respond to your cousin. Today's event has already begun. Tabitha, Irma, Mint, I got paged by the sheriff. What the hell's going on here? Where are all the cops? Did Reese hurt someone? The talking is just noise. Their words don't matter. There's a humming in your head, almost like a voice, one you can barely make out. But you know it will be clearer the closer you get to the stone. You start wandering up toward the farmhouse at the top of the hill. Hey, I'm talking to you. Oh, come on, they're headed to Julius's. But you continue forward. You barely even notice your hand slipping over the doorknob. And now you're inside. Sheriff Hugby dangles in the middle of the room, an axe attached to some strange mechanism in the ceiling embedded in his face, holding up his corpse in an imitation of life. Jesus. Don't move, Doc. This place is a damn death trap. This old guy really is crazy, huh? Who the hell put something like that in their house? Past the body, you see a giant pumpkin through the door to the garage, cracked open, its guts strewn across the floor, seeds dotted across the hardwood like a trail of breadcrumbs leading to the basement stairs. What the hell is going on here? Damn it, Derrickson, we don't need all these bodies to look out for. Franklin already nearly got himself shot. Dude, come on, if you could refrain from any further interference in police activities. Without my interference, you might have 2 dead officers to deal with. Now, if you'll excuse me. Franklin, how's Bo? You got eyes on him? The officer's voice calls up from behind the wall of roots locking the basement door. Yeah, he's breathing. We're trying to help.
Is that Diner kid? I should have known you and Julius have been conspiring, haven't you? What did you do to my boy? Everybody shut up. Damn it, there's no single in here. I'm gonna step outside. Nobody else had better die while I'm gone. The doctor pulls at the door, but a weave of fibrous tendrils holds it shut. It would seem that the same forces that let all of you in refuse to let anyone leave. Are we stuck here? What the hell are we supposed to do now? But you already know what to do. You're vaguely aware that Officer Derrickson is trying to stop you, but he's too nervous to take a step. You reach the basement door and start to claw at the weird fleshy vines blocking your way. They're strong, but they relent under your touch, welcoming you down below. Who the hell? So, you tried to undermine me, witch. I should have known you'd try to find a way around the rules. You've trapped the town. This isn't what any of us wanted. You should nullify the deal before this gets any worse. It's just unhappy. I didn't think something like that would be so opinionated. But I have a plan to placate it. If it wants a less broken body, it can have one. Then we'll see if it still feels cheated long enough to hold a grudge. It's not too late, Enoch. You can let Eddie have the baby. Your family can go back to normal, happy and unburdened. I'll clean everything up. It'll be like nothing ever happened. I'll even leave town. Manipulative hag. This is what you wanted all along, wasn't it? The whole ordeal was just an opportunity for you to have access to it. Well, I know better than to hand an ounce of power over to you, Verena. Hey! Everybody still alive? Tabitha coughs. I think I broke something. Yeah, my ribs. Why did you have to wear such heavy boots? I have to find the witch. Find the witch. Witch? Sybil. So you have business with her too. Guess I should have known I probably wasn't the only one whose life she decided to fuck with. But that all ends now. I'm in charge here, and I'll get what was promised. Hey man, calm down, it's all good. Yeah, if you come here with Avery, you get here before everybody else, and you get to see how this all happened. If Duke is alive, he will be behind Franklin on the stairs, and he'll say, "Watch out, you blind fool," because Franklin is wearing sunglasses and can't see into the dark basement, and Duke shoves him, and he falls down here without getting shot. Otherwise, he gets caught in the shoulder. Franklin sits hunched in the corner, his expression icy and unreadable behind his sunglasses. And in the corner is Bo. Something is attached to him, the source of the awful noise. It stutters with pained inhalations. Bo is still breathing, but he doesn't look well. The stone brought you here and stuck you in the middle of another nightmare. Mint, we can't get to you. The door's sealed shut. Even as she yells to you, her voice is faint, barely audible behind the now thickened roots and vines that block your escape. How's Bo? How's my boy? Let's bring the Scarlets up to speed, Julius. They look a little shell-shocked. Where do I fucking begin? Alright. So the witch, I caught her doing some shit she shouldn't have been doing, and she offered me a deal if I kept it to myself. Always wanted to raise a boy of my own. God never saw fit to give me the chance. She gave me the means to right that injustice. Only it obviously didn't go the way it was supposed to. Calloway's interfered, just like always. Made it so I had to hatch him earlier than he was ready, and he came out hungry. Too hungry for me to handle. He kept trying to get at me, so I had to hole up down here. Been stuck since fucking Wednesday night. Damn roots won't let me leave, and they've clogged up the drain, so I haven't been able to call that witch and get her to make things right. But I'm a man of preparedness. Figured I could wait it out. Until Bo here decided to trespass, because he lost a tussle with my boy, and the two of them wound up down here with me. And that about sums it up. I guess in the end it's only fair. Son for a son. Birth ain't never pretty, is it? It's not like doing it the old-fashioned way, it's all sunshine and roses. Just hope he winds up looking more like a person when he's done cooking. So what, we're all supposed to just wait around down here until he's done or something? I don't give a shit about your story, Tremaine. None of that is a reason to shoot a cop. I didn't even hit you, you fucking pussy. And it was self-defense, castle doctrine. What the hell are you talking about down there? What are you doing with my bow? Calm down, Calloway. We got the situation under control. Just let us talk it through. This is so messed up. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Walk a mile in my shoes and tell me you wouldn't do the same. That won't hold up in court, Tremaine. But if I kill every cop in town, it's not like there'd be anybody left to convict me. You're an awful cocky for a guy who's stuck in his own basement. Don't do anything more stupid than you already have. Mint, don't antagonize this lunatic. He's got a gun, remember? Listen, clearly you need something. You woke up talking about the witch. You want to know where she is? I can tell you how to find her. If none of you does anything stupid, I'll tell you what I know. Sound fair? Relax, okay? Nobody's gonna do anything. The conversation is interrupted by Bo shifting uncomfortably as the creature lets out a guttural moan. That's my boy! Enough of this bullshit! Somebody help me get this axe down. I'm not letting some damn tumor stop me. Are you sure, Duke? What if it triggers another trap? Or there's the sound of something being torn free from wood, then hacking at the vine-like tendrils blocking the doorway. But no progress seems to be made. For every piece severed, another grows in its place. You want to bring the damn house down, Duke? A string of desperate curses from upstairs, but the axe doesn't stop swinging. Bo squirms with discomfort. The baby seems to be digging deeper. Why do you even want a kid? Like I need to explain myself to you. You make a habit of going around asking everybody why they had kids? Stop asking questions that upset the guy with the gun, Mint. What if I'm the one asking? I thought you were the kind of guy who wanted a family. You seem to like being left alone, so why? Fine, only because you're asking. Kid gives me something to live for, something to do right for, some hope that life goes on after I die. Same reason anybody has kids, damn it, I don't know. Sorry, Julius. Should have talked to you more or come out here to visit. You did plenty. Don't worry about it. Life is unfair to you, so what, kill a man over it? I'm not killing anybody. I'm just standing here. It's not like I did a single thing to Bo. He trespassed on my property. Everybody knows not to do that. What happened to him is his problem. We'll see what the law has to say about that. Franklin, I don't give a shit about your laws. It's my own conscience that I know is clear. That's all that matters to me. Man, shut up. I am begging you to stop talking. Bo twitches, his skin blossoming with fresh bruises as the thing takes more of him. Shouldn't you be concerned that Duke's trying to get down here? You know he's gonna kill it if he does. He won't get through. My boy will make sure of that. Might be a little thing, but as you can see, that don't mean he can't protect himself. Maybe if we let Dr. Kelly in here, she can help. We might save Bo without killing your son thing. I don't know if Julius is the one you have to convince. The baby's pretty freaked out now. It's been getting worse ever since everybody started coming in. It's trying to protect itself. That's right, my boy's got excellent instincts for self-preservation. So as long as Duke is up there attacking all those bits of him, no one's getting in or out. If you think about it, he's doing nothing but killing his own kid faster. Damn it, Julius, you smug piece of shit! The sounds of the falling axe hasten their pace. And what exactly happens after this thing is finished? Do you think it's just going to be a normal kid? Did you say that about those little premature babies they keep in the incubators? We don't know what he's going to look like, but that don't matter, because he's my son and I love him. And I know he'll get big and strong if he just gets himself enough food. Even if he doesn't change, he's kind of cute like this anyway. Definitely weird, but cute. The things under Bo's skin shift, writhing in an imitation of clenching muscle. What kind of man lets another man make a sacrifice for him? Hell, what you know about being a man? Grow up here and then tell me how you feel. You know, I'm a man, Julius, and I think you're a coward. Correction, Franklin. You're a pig, not a man. You sold your soul for some donuts and a shiny badge. You know, Julius, I actually think Mint might be onto something. It's about connection, you know? You're having a stranger make the connection that should be yours. No, I'm not getting guilt-tripped into dying today. This is my one chance for things to go right in my life. Everybody else got their chances already. Don't I deserve mine? I came this far, and don't I deserve to see my boy open his eyes for the first time? What were the terms of this deal you made with the witch? When I caught her doing what she was doing, she offered me this ritual thing in exchange for my silence. Offered it right away like she could just see right through me. Knew exactly what I wanted most. I suppose what she didn't know was I'm the kind of man who'd turn somebody in anyway. Her business was her business. She didn't bother me giving some recipe to cook up a boy from dirt, blood, and pumpkin seeds, but I took it anyway. And I just sat on it for a while till a moment of weakness. What was the ritual? Did you do something to Duke's pumpkin? It wasn't his damn pumpkin, it was on my property. And the only reason it got as big as it was is I fed it my own blood every night since the day it was planted. Bleeding on the dirt like some kind of Satan worshiper. If that don't make it mine, I don't know what does. God knows I felt crazy doing it though. But I'm not proud to say my judgment was a bit clouded. I was in a bad way. The thought of bringing a boy in the world was just about the only thing that made me feel like I should stick around. Not that any of you need to know about all that. Only serves as an explanation as to why I trusted her in the first place. Bo seems in a bad way. His eyes are glazed, his jaw slack except where the roots of the childlike thing are holding it in place. His body can't take much more.
exactly did you catch her doing that made her make you deal with you? Like I said, I'm not at liberty to discuss. But perhaps it had something to do with that husband of hers and whatever it was he was sick with. Husband? She's married, but just so young. Young? Do you need glasses or something? Woman's a goddamn crone if I've ever seen one. And it ain't like she's married now anyway. He's been dead for some time on account of the illness. Julius, dude, we gotta do something. Beau's in a lot of pain. This can't be what was supposed to happen. Have you thought about what happens after this, Julius? The sheriff's dead. I should have disarmed that trap. I knew it. I just didn't think anybody else would be coming. Don't blame yourself, kid. The sheriff knew better. That's why none of these boys ever come around here. They know they've met their match. And to answer that thinly veiled threat of yours, I don't think I can't say I give much of a shit. Right now in this moment, I'm here and my boy's here, and we've got our happy little family. You're gonna be tried for murder, Tremaine. But Julius doesn't answer. He just watches in silence as the shriveled creature continues to slowly kill Beau. In the end, you don't do anything other than talk while the creature finishes its work. This isn't the time or place for you to make a choice. Even if that wasn't the case, it's too late to make any other choice now other than continued inaction. You watch as the thing slowly solidifies, its breaths more confident as Beau's grow more shallow. I can't just let this happen. The officer dives forward, reaching for his gun, but Tabitha kicks him, stopping him mid-motion. You idiot! Do you want to get shot? Just let the guy have his freak baby. Man, we are watching a slow-motion murder. It's my duty to... This is my house, not yours, officer. What happens under my roof was always supposed to be my business. Beau trespassed. Those are the consequences. Everyone watches each other with unease. Is it alright if I sit by him? Sure, but I'll shoot you if you make any moves, kid. I don't want to, but I will. Avery shifts, getting closer to Beau. They take his hand in theirs, which doesn't seem to do anything to comfort the man as the roots sink deeper, taking more. I'm sorry, Beau. It'll be over soon, okay? You're not alone. Nobody should die alone. I can't die. Mama will be sad. But he does. The thing finally pulls away from what's left of Beau, and in place of the dead man's breathing, its ungodly cries fill the room. Shh, it's all right, boy. The creature's connection to its womb has been severed, and the house groans unnaturally, straining under the weight of the meat that has infiltrated its walls. The faucet in the corner of the room, finally unclogged, bursts to life and water pours out onto the dirt floor. And the vines blocking the door grow slack. You want to contact the witch? Well, here she comes. That water's how I do it. Spring water. It's like her, internet. But Julius is interrupted by a figure stepping onto the basement stairs. Oh shit, he's got an axe. Oh god, Beau, that can't be him. That can't be him. You stay away, Duke. Nobody else needs to die today. They sure as hell do! He's on Julius in seconds, axe rising and falling in a bloody mess. He keeps going, and nobody stops him. Julius's body slowly loses its humanity until it's nothing but meat. Sorry, Franklin. Looks like he fell on his axe. Wow, he's really dead. That's what I saw. Finally, Duke turns its attention to the mewling thing still curled up on the corpse of his son. Duke, stop, wait! It's just a baby. It didn't know what it was doing. Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. Put the axe down. No point in taking revenge on something that didn't know any better. Your hands are wet. The water's spreading, pooling around you, making the floor slippery with mud. The hell are you talking about? That thing ain't a baby. It's a damn parasite. I'm doing the world a favor by killing something that has to do that to live. The water's suddenly much higher. It rises up past your ankles. I'm gonna kill that thing. I'm gonna get Beau some proper medical help. I'll take him over to the next county if I have to. But it's like everyone else in the room is in a different world, arguing while the water rises around them, as if they don't even see it. What are you all doing around standing and arguing? The basement is flooding. Flooding, ma'am? Do you not see the fucking water? What are you talking about? There's no water. But it is flooding. It's up to your chest now. There's no denying it. Of course you don't see it. You're always wearing those damn sunglasses. Her words are swallowed up as it finally overtakes you. You feel like you're choking. There's water in your lungs, or there should be. Your ears are filled with the sound of a rushing current. It's cold and dark, and there are people screaming somewhere. There are bodies in the water with you. They are all dead, 1,000 corpses, 1,000 homes, all torn to pieces. But the flood recedes. It hasn't happened yet. You are the mother of a daughter, and your daughter has told you about her terrible dream. It's going to kill everyone. You are not the only one who had the vision. You are not the one who had the vision. Not yet. It has only been described to you by the daughter you have been teaching, as your mother taught you. You're the only one who can stop it, Mother. But you won't be strong enough. Her words are heavy. Of course I'll stop it. Don't worry so much, daughter. No, Mother, I've seen it. You will try to stop it, and you will die. But there's another path. Take my power. I give it willingly. It can't be that I'm destined to lose you. It's too cruel. There's one way you can keep me with you. Take my power. I'll live in you as I once did. I will never leave you. You deny your daughter. The flood comes, and despite your best efforts, the village is swallowed. 1,000 bodies and 1,000 homes. But that's not how it happened. This has already come to pass, and there's no changing it now. No matter how you might wish it had all gone differently. You accept your daughter's decision. She's not the child she once was, and there's a confidence in her that you have no choice but to respect. You take her back. Her power becomes yours. The flood does not come, the village is saved, and no one ever knows the sacrifice that was made for their lives. No one but you. Years have passed. You outlive everyone you used to know. You move on. You meet new people. You start a new life. You have another daughter. This time the vision is yours. The piece of your first daughter that lives in you shows you what is coming. Rotting bodies in the streets, the smell of sickness on the wind, church bells ringing for an endless parade of funerals, an entire city whose gates will never reopen, everyone inside the walls falling to the curse of plague. You are among their number, your body no longer strong enough to even heal itself. You are not enough to stop it. Not as you are. There's another path, a narrow thread. If you were stronger, you could tug at it and unravel the tapestry of the future. Mother, what's wrong? Your daughter will never be as strong as you are, not after what you had to do, but she still carries in her some strength. Enough. You do not offer her an explanation before trying to take her back. She rebels. Her power is weak, but enough that she is not easy to contain. She is frightened. You tell her what's coming. You explain what she has to give up, what you both have to give up. You love your daughter. After all, you'll miss her, as you miss your first daughter. She's angry. Even when you try to explain that she will be a part of you, that she won't die, she cries, and she tries to run away from you. Fate is attempting to cut its loose thread. Your daughter leaves you. You resign yourself to the future. She's one of the first to die. The streets flood with disease, and the bodies are buried and then burned, then left in heaps in the streets until no one is left to remember any of their names. But that's not how it happened. You do not let your daughter run from you. No plague comes. The city never knows that it would have been a ruin. But there's an unhappiness in you. She didn't understand, and what you took of her is angry, confused, restless. You will have to carry that with you. It is part of the burden of what you are. Though no one knows the depths of what you have done, over the years you have not escaped notice. You find yourself in a capital in a place whose name has changed too many times to count. A war is brewing. The eyes of those who hold fate in their hands are on you, their lips asking which threads to pull and which to cut. And the tapestry is once again revealed to you. The war rages, and it never stops raging. Bleeding that spans generations, children born to die, decades of pain that leave a raw wound in the world. Or it ends before it begins. The few die for the sake of the many. You can guide powerful hands to crush those that need crushing, if only you have more power of your own. You call your daughter to you. You raise them differently these days. The disquiet left by the reluctant daughter taught you a permanent lesson. They don't need convincing anymore. They are ready to return to you whenever you need them. You have a change of heart. It has to end sometime. You let her go. Hundreds of thousands suffer. Countless lives are cut short. Your daughter's among them. Even in her privileged place by your side, the war reaches her, and the both of you burn along with everyone else. You saved her for nothing. of course, that's not how it happened. This daughter joins her sisters easily, as she has been trained to do. You are the only one who will remember her sacrifice and her name. A small rebellion is crushed before it becomes a revolution. The people in power are happy. You leave. You don't want to see any more visions of war. You set your sights on a place where there are no kings. And yet, even an ocean away, power finds you, a man with aspirations. Anyone can hold power here, you have discovered, if they're vicious enough to want it. The hunger in him senses the power in you, and for a time you humor him. You allow him to give you a life of comfort, you and your daughter. You don't see a future where he ever grows more powerful than you can manage. Not until the vision comes. A war like none the world has ever witnessed. A fledgling nation devoured in the nest. A man who sits on a throne where none was meant to be, the world under his cruel fist, bowing to its crushing weight. The very ocean stained red by his influence. He's already on his way, you realize too late. You've been too close to him to see it. Your choices have already narrowed. The war is coming whether you strike now or not, the loose thread sticking out from a mass of blood with you too weak to grasp it. But you have a daughter. You always have a daughter until you don't. It's time to rest, aren't you tired? Of course you are. But the world needs you. You can't let it end like this. The part of you that is your first daughter can't let you. She joins her sisters, as is her destiny, and you remove him from the world. Also, if you move the mouse around here, you actually get a little bit more... There's nothing like hidden. You can't see very far, but... The hole where he was is filled by lesser men, none of whom remember whose shoes they're stepping into, and none of whom can hope to command the way he would have. So somebody asked why they even let you choose if it's all on one path. I think the point of this sequence is to communicate that what we're seeing, what we're experiencing in this scene, because this is from our point of view, even though this is Sybil's eye here. What we're experiencing is more than just Sybil telling us things. We are having kind of like a mind meld, and we have choices here that might be what we would do. And they give us a little bit more context. Blood is spilled. Less blood, but you still feel every drop. You hide yourself away from the world. You and your daughter. The visions still find you, but here they are small, the decision's simple. You make them all the same, helping where you can. A storm halted, a conflict settled. Until one day you're shown a dark pit. Splintering wood, debris trapping everyone inside, bodies burning as the very rock catches fire, children screaming as their flesh bubbles, then silence as lungs fill with smoke. You know the choice that lies in front of you. You take your daughter's hand and you look her in the eyes. They're green, like yours. You don't want to do it this time. You stare out over the hills together as a plume of smoke rises into the air, but you can't hear the screams from here. You assume you will die one day like anyone else. After all, you're long past due. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to know your grandchildren before you go. And then the man comes, and with him, a vision. He's already decided. He's bringing something here, something ravenous that doesn't belong, but that has been pressing at the edges of your world, trying to find a way in. It has its way now, whether you help him or not. So, I'm not sure what these are, if they're rivers or leaves, like veins on a leaf, or some anatomical structure in a human. But obviously the lightning we know is the entity, but also this sounds a lot like the threads of fate that we've been envisioning the world as Sybil, right? So these things are conceptually very similar, and it's what makes me think that Sybil is maybe not so different from Wayne. Also, we saw that it was her hair that was like snaring up her daughter who tried to run, so Most of the thread you followed comes into focus, and for the first time you follow it beyond your death, and hair is like strands, like the lightning is. Disaster after disaster, crisis after crisis, thousands of years of little cuts that you weren't there to mend. On and on it goes, longer than you can ever hope to follow, its toll eternal and incalculable. But there's a new thread, too. If you're patient enough, if you're strong enough, when the moment finally comes, if you do everything right, you can devour this thing that sits outside the world. And it will give you so much power that you will never have to take back a daughter again. You could fix as many things as you'd care to fix. Floods, plagues, wars, kings. You look into her green eyes, so much like yours. You can't, but you did. You welcome her back as you have with every daughter before her, and you help the man. So all of the people who died, a piece of context for Sybil's actions also is that the one time she tried to do the right thing, the Shaw mind collapse happened. And then what she saw happening after that was so bad that she couldn't bear to not act. He's arrogant. He cheats the thing from another world in every way he can. He wastes your time. There will have to be more daughters before the day comes that this will be over. But days and daughters come and go, and you are very patient. You have to be, if you're to stop the hurt that would scar the world without you there to guide it. And now you're here, on the cusp of the end, the final daughter. Mint? Tabitha? Drop a quick save there. What are you two doing here? Are you real? Yeah, we're real. Are you? I don't know. Probably. I'm glad I get the chance to see you again, Mint, before I go away. So that means you've made up my mind? Yeah. Don't try to talk me out of it. It won't work. You're kidding me. You're too important to me, Kenneka. I thought you knew that. I can't let you do this. I'm sorry, I didn't know then what I know now, or I would never have let you in. You got it all wrong anyway. I'm not important or special. Not on my own. Not when compared with what I'm about to do. And I know how that sounds, but I mean it. How many people can say they got the chance to change the future, like, really change it? I like Tabitha's reaction to realizing that it's okay. It's not even like I'm dying, I'm just becoming a part of something else. Also, so we've had the tea, so all of the, it's okay, I understand, you're right, I shouldn't be selfish, you found your purpose. Have you ever been happy, Kenneka? Has she ever let you be happy? Of course, I mean, I had a good childhood, my dad. Tabitha, back me up here. Actually, I think this is all fucking stupid. What, you're just gonna do what Sybil says? No questions asked? That's not the Kaneeka I know. You're as stubborn as I am, remember? That thing is asking you to give up your life for some vague greater purpose, and even that is probably a lie. It says it's done this before. It probably could come up with the perfect line to feed each and every one of its victims so they'll give up willingly. Don't you have dreams and ambitions and stuff? Do you really think none of those matter just because it said so? Where's this coming from? I thought you hated me. No, Kaneeka, I have respect for you. You stick to your guns. You're the one who hates me. I don't hate you, Quiet, dear. There's no need to let the Scarlets talk you in circles. You already know the right answer, remember? I don't know anymore. I need to think about it. Let me go. I should have known the two of you would be trouble. You and your family have always valued your hold over the town, over the happiness of its residents. How can you look around at the way things are and see anything but misery? Do you know what I see when I look at Scarlet Hollow? I don't care. I see the remnants of some long-dead thing. Hollowed-out mountains where hollowed-out people work to scrape the last few crumbs of death from dried-up seams, hoping to animate the corpse of this town for long enough that they can see tomorrow. It's not going to stay that way, and you know it. Of course, and I know why, too. But does Mint know why? Have you thought to mention it? Shut up. I'm getting you out of here, Kenneka. Tabitha doesn't waste another moment. She rushes forward, hand outstretched toward Kenneka. She doesn't want you to talk to Sybil. We'll help her save Kenneka. You and Tabitha dart forward, each of you grabbing for Kaneka's wrists. As you both pull, the unreal world around you wavers, like a mirage no longer able to maintain its illusion. Stop! Don't you touch her! You don't know what you're doing! But you and your cousin ignore her, and the world shifts nauseatingly around you. You feel like you're being buoyed upwards, ascending rapidly, reality rushing to meet you until finally you surface. So there's another way this can go. You're outside. It's raining. You have no idea where you are. Tulip! Janie! Alright, so let me pull up a load game from another file. So whether Tabitha decides to agree to things there or not is based on... I think it's partly based on what her intentions for the player character are. Is it there? No. Yeah, here we go. So this is another run I did where I'm not old in this run. What is this run? Talk to Animal Street Smart. Found Stella together with Tabitha. We shot Reese. Yeah. So... You're too important to me, Kenneka. I thought you knew that. I can't let you do this. I'm sorry, I didn't know then what I knew now, or I would never have let you in. You've got it all wrong anyway. I'm not... So anyway, in this run, Tabitha is, by the way... saying that we had better not do anything to interfere with what's going on here. She's on Sybil's side reluctantly for this. And I know how that sounds, but I mean it. How many people could say they get the chance to change the future? Like, really change it? It's okay, it's not even like I'm dying, I'm just becoming part of something else. Your mom's dictated your whole life to you. Reject her just this once. That's the most important thing you could ever do. But she's not wrong. Even if this is dying, it's for something that's much bigger. I can't possibly justify living if it means so many other people are going to suffer. And we all saw her visions. They weren't lies. Tabitha, back me up here. Why are you making this so much harder for her? She made up her mind already, remember? She's right. We have to let her do it. So don't try anything. I don't care if you think you're being a hero. This has to happen. Wow, Tabitha, I knew you hated each other, but this is a new low. It's not about that. Tabitha knows exactly what this is like. Of course she gets it. She knows what it's like to have to shoulder familiar responsibility for the good of other people. Sometimes that's just how your life has to go. She's had to make the same choice I'm making now. Kiss. You don't waste time on more words. Wait, are you two like a thing? You take Kenneka by the shoulders, and before she can say anything to try to stop you, your lips are on hers, pressing them into silence. She tries to say something, some half-hearted protest, but as your tongue slips into her mouth, it turns into a tiny moan. She leans into you. You hold her closer, your arms pressing her body against yours, her skin soft and comforting and warm. You can tell she feels the same. It's as if she's never been held before, a desperation to her touch as her hands creep up to your shoulders, shaking, nervous. She lets you kiss her deeper, seeming to blissfully forget where she is, losing herself in your arms, if only temporarily. Feels like the seconds slow down, as though time itself comes to a stop as you hold each other. Cut it out. Kenneka pulls away from you, tears welling up in her eyes. I'm not sure I want to go through with this any... Quiet, dear. There's no reason to let Molly talk you in circles. You already know the right answer, remember? I don't know anymore. I need to think about it. Let me go. So sorry for the trouble, Tabitha. This won't take long. Molly, do you trust your cousin? I thought you were getting close. In fact, I know you are, because she wouldn't be doing this if she didn't care about you. This choice goes against everything her family worked so hard to maintain. Right, so Tabitha will side with Sybil if she's not going to throw you in the cell. Because basically, I think only one of the two things needs to happen. If Sybil is able to do her thing, she will kind of solve the problem because she wants to eat the entity, and so then nobody has to go in the cell. But if somebody's going to go in the cell, then eating the entity is not what is wanted, because there are two kind of incompatible goals there. We don't have to talk about that. What about how letting this happen will give you both a powerful ally that will free the town of Scarlet Hollow? Free is not the word. No, that's fine, whatever. She's gonna free the town. There, are you convinced now? Let's just close our eyes and wait for this to be over. Your cousin has the right idea. Kaneeka can't save you on her own, but I can. I'm only able to tell you so much, but I tried to show you what I could. I'd hoped you'd be able to trust me by now, for your sake. This is the only way your story gets a happy ending. She's telling the truth. But it won't be a happy ending without her. What kind of a happy ending is it if Kenneka dies? The kind where everyone else gets to walk free, away from the specter of the past, yourself included. I know you care about her, Molly, but that it has to come to... I'm sorry that it has to come to this, but it's the only way. Believe me when I say I understand the burden that's been placed on you. Sybil, this feels evil. I know how unpalatable this feels, Molly, but pull back the curtain. It's a far kinder choice than anything you've been party to this week. How does a gentle exit compare to you and Tabitha burning Reese Kelly alive? Unlike Duke, who left behind a widow and son to mourn him, Kaneka's memory will be but a passing breeze. There won't be anyone to hurt from her loss. Even you'll forget her as soon as she's gone. The burden of remembering her is mine and mine alone. You left Charlie's spirit to fester unresolved in the library. How many more lifetimes of suffering is he going to experience? Just now you chose to let that parasite kill Beau Calloway. Now Irma's left all alone in this world. I don't think you've made any wrong choices, Molly. Enoch's legacy is simply stacked the deck against you. My daughter is one person, and she won't die in the traditional sense of the word. She'll be here with me and her sisters. It will be gentle, like stepping into a pool. All these lingering threads left by your decisions can still be mended if you let her help me. Molly, just listen to her, okay? And what's supposed to happen to Miles after all this? Are you just going to abandon him or something? Of course not. Do you think I haven't had other children in the past? I just become something else to them. Someone who still loves them. He won't be alone. He'll still have the both of us, just in a different way than he used to. The question you should be asking yourself is what will happen if you stop this from finishing. Do you think Miles will be better off with a broken family in a town where everyone stays trapped? Let him be free to have a future, Molly. Did you know I was going to wind up here? Doesn't this throw a wrench in your plans? I did see this possibility. No, inevitability, I suppose. I'd hoped it would all be over before you could find me. I know it can be unpleasant to watch. I'd hoped to spare you, even if I knew in my heart that all the worthwhile roads for you to walk would bring you here before I could finish my work. But your being here only throws a wrench into things if you're unable to grasp the weight of what you're about to do. So ask as many questions as you need to. Explore all avenues. I will answer until you understand. I don't care about this town. I care about her. You rush toward Kenneka, your hand outstretched, ready to rip her away from her mother's grasp. But your cousin grabs you before you can get to her. Molly, stop! So, we can push her and save Kenneka, and it's pretty much the same as we just saw. If we are old, which is what I was aiming for with the other run, but I forgot that Tabby kind of sides based on what her decision is. Also, I love this shot of Sybil here. We can see that, she's skeletal. She's like becoming more monstrous as this goes on. So if we had been hit by Charlie, we wouldn't be able to fight here, and I just want to show what that does. You don't bother to keep struggling. Your body falls limp in Tabitha's arms. Kenneka, I'm sorry that we never really got along. I always thought you were an admirable person. You always stuck to your guns, and I respect that. Even when you really should have sold that stupid store to me years ago. I wish I'd said it before now. I wish I'd been nicer to you while I had the chance. Kaneka's eyes go wide, and then Tabitha wrenches free from your grasp, stumbling away. There. It's done. It's over. She tries to stealthily wipe away a tear. You're not sure why she's crying. Why do I feel so bad? I guess you really liked her. I didn't know you guys were, that close. She sees the confusion on your face, and her eyes go wide. Oh shit, you don't... Of course you feel bad. I was gone all day. You must have missed me so much. But you came to rescue me, and now everything can go back to normal. Tabitha seems to be made uneasy by Carmilla's presence, but the red-haired woman is right. You were here looking for her. She's beautiful. There's almost a glow around her, softening your heart, easing the disquiet that had settled there. Before another word is spoken, she wraps you in an embrace. Her smell is comforting, like herbal smoke and pine needles with the vaguest undercurrent of coconut. It's almost sad when she separates you. The feelings that stirred at that smell are fluttering in your chest, making you nervous, reminding you of something that feels lost, but it's not. She's right in front of you. I thought everyone had forgotten about me, even you two. I hope that wouldn't be the case for you in particular, Molly. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you didn't forget. And you didn't forget. Carmilla's been with you most of the week, ever since you first met her in the store. You spent most of yesterday together trying to track Stella down before you wound up in Carmilla's room, where you look into her eyes, green with flecks of hazel in the middle, like a mossy forest floor. There's both comfort and unfamiliarity there, but that's to be expected. You've only been in town less than a week, you're still getting to know each other. You came to find me like a knight in shining armor. Yeah, okay, this is not cool. Molly, I forbid you from pursuing that woman. Do not speak to her. Let's leave now, please. Every single option is romance. There's no way to back out. We embrace her again. You sweep her back up in your arms. Molly? Again, the smell of pine incense, all undercut with a warm tropical smell, strangely incongruous with the rest, yet adding a familiarity that makes you want to hold her even closer. Her dress is soft, accentuating the gentle curves of her body. Warmth builds between you. This is safety. The arms of this woman who you barely know, yet you feel like you've known forever. Tabitha's hands are on you, tearing you away from her. Hey, quit it! Molly, what the hell's gotten into you? What did you do to my cousins? Carmilla. I don't know what name the spell wrote for me before you two saved me, but you know my name is Carmilla. Look, I gave you what you wanted, okay? Now leave the two of us alone. Don't you dare mess with my cousin. What if I want to be messed with? Tabitha's face contorts into some horrible new expression, something like pity. What did you do? You did something, didn't you? This isn't right. Me? Carmilla takes your arm. Her touch is gentle and warm. I suppose all I did was win your cousin over. Is that so bad? You can't do this. After what I just did for you, you owe me. You did what you did for all of us, Tabitha. Neither of you wants a world without me in it. Isn't that right? Carmilla takes your cousin's hand. Tabitha wrinkles her nose like she's being held by something unclean. She's so rude. But before you could admonish her for being so horrible to poor Carmilla, the red-haired woman takes your hand too, and the world shifts nauseatingly around you. It feels like you're being buoyed upwards, ascending rapidly, the dream rushing away like water down a drain until finally you surface. You're outside. It's raining. You have no idea where you are. Yeah, so, it is so icky. Yeah, somebody said that. Somebody else says, some people seem to interpret her telling the truth as her being completely right, but her telling the truth just means that she believes it, not that it's correct. And that's correct, yeah. So, she's not knowingly lying, but she could be wrong. Or she could be talking to you in a way where she's presenting a viewpoint that she has long since convinced herself of. Tabitha projects a lot of her burden onto Kenneka, especially since she feels like she had no choice. She's okay with Kenneka being forced into this. Yeah, because Tabitha talks a lot about, like, oh, I didn't get to choose if I wanted to be responsible for all this, and it's one of the things she can yell at you about during the confrontation in her office. Yeah, the disguise of humanity falling is a big theme in this game. Yeah. Does anyone else get irrationally angry looking at her? Yeah, Tabitha does. You know our best pal Carmilla. We know Carmilla. We love Carmilla. She's been around all week. The romance Kenneka to Carmilla path is so violating, intrusive, and terrible. Oh my lord, I love chapter 5. Yeah, and there's 2 chapters left to go, and I'm really curious about this timeline because Tabitha knows that. So in this timeline, Tabitha is friends with us, and she's not like she. We went and like confronted her about the situation, and she like backed down and was like crying and said she was sorry and that she'd fix it. So to then go and be like, okay, if I'm not going to give up my cousin, like somebody still has to bite the bullet here, and I guess it's going to be Kaneeka. And then so Kaneeka does that only for Tabitha to be blindsided by the fact that in this timeline we were dating Kaneeka and we drank the tea and we didn't have mystical. So we just get whammied by Carmilla as soon as she appears. And so Tabitha did lose her cousin. Yeah, Tabitha regret route. And it makes me wonder, in this route, a thing I can see happening is Tabitha and Stella trying to team up to like basically rescue us from Carmilla. And I wonder if that will happen. So drinking the tea makes us more predisposed to like Sybil and more predisposed to believe her. It prevents some actions. It makes our skills lie to us about her. It's basically like not really mind control, but like a sort of enchantment. Like the what is it, D&D spell Friends, where you just change somebody's outlook toward you. And so there are 4 things you can do. You can avoid showering because she's in the water, right? We know that now. You can avoid the tea. You can take mystical. I guess that's 3 things. Oh, and you can romance Kaneeka. And if you, depending on how many of those 4 things you've done, increases or decreases the hold Carmilla has over you. Because in a sense, like, oh, Carmilla is, like, Kaneeka's a part of Carmilla now, and so her feelings are genuine, except Carmilla's not really a person. Like, she's not really human, right? And she is fully aware of the source of those feelings and is lying about them. So while she might feel genuine affection toward our character, it's still like a pretty icky situation where like we don't have all the details and also our consent is gone. As we saw the option to, and actually we can run through a few. I think this is the she's really nice, Tabitha. You should try to get to know her. Oh, I know her very, very well, actually. I lived in her town, remember? Or did you forget that, too? Tabitha, that's low. Even for you. You know Molly and everyone else forgot me all day. Don't give her a complex about memory. She's dealt with enough stress as it is. Oh, I swear to God. Yeah, I don't know. So we saw that part. If Molly wants to see me, you won't stop her. But if not, yeah. So that's just that line. There's 1 or 2 other interesting things she will say here. You don't get to tell me who I do or don't see. That's right, Tabitha. We're all adults here. You can't police who Molly's interested in. Tabitha shoots you a look that is clearly meant to communicate something, but you don't know what that something might be. Then she rounds on Carmilla. Yeah, so she's trying to see if there's any, but I like her. That's right, okay, that's the same line. It's okay, Carmilla. We'll just hang out when she's not around. Carmilla gives your shoulder a playful squeeze, winking. Her touch feels almost electric, your body reacting like you've never felt skin on yours before. You want her to touch you again. You can feel your cheeks flush hot and red. You have to be kidding me. So yeah, this is all bad. There's no good here. Embrace her again, and I don't think any of the options here in this other set of lines are anything too different. Oh yeah, kiss Carmilla defiantly. Before Tabitha can stop you, your hand snakes its way into Carmilla's long red hair and you press her face against yours. Your heart jumps in your chest as your lips touch. She's warm and beautiful and accepts you completely, her tongue pushing its way into you without invitation. Oh my god, stop! There's a look on Tabitha's face you don't quite understand. Something like horror. Sorry, perhaps that's best left behind closed doors. No, no, no. There will be no closed doors. You two are not allowed. Do you hear me? After what I just did for you, you owe me. That's all the same. So Astronomaly says, honestly, really gutsy of Black Tabby Games to essentially replace all three of their major characters in one chapter halfway through the game. Actually, they did it with all their characters. So Reese, he becomes the monster, and his sort of personality changes a bit. We have Stella doing that flip in the Toxic Yuri route. We have the reveal that Tabitha is planning on doing something horrible to us. Marlon says, a black character getting erased and replaced with a white one does seem like another particularly nauseating quality of Carmela. Yeah, that's definitely intentional. Kenneka being in that, like, black woman put upon self-sacrificing role to begin with is bad, but, like, the result of it is bad, and, like, that nobody even remembers her is super sad. Fruit Mecure says, what are your thoughts on what's happening with the goat and the whole urban ritual thing? Tabitha hates it when you feed it boiled peanuts. I think it has to be sacrificed to like rebind the entity, because there's a butcher's spike right next to the ritual circle that you can find if you have keen eye, and so I think the goat is going to be like, that's how she's going to affect the getting Wayne back in the cell. Which is like probably why there's claws there. Like, he's probably like literally dragged back in, like Dr. Facilier. The Dear Ebb says, the descriptions of your body acting on its own that would normally feel like cute and romantic are so awful in this context. Yeah, it's really good writing. That they take this like they start from a place where it's like, oh, this should all be super appealing. Like she's beautiful and super nice and everything, and it's like, it's just so awful. It's just so terrible. This feels like the chapter where any hope of a good ending dies. It is definitely like the end of the second act. And can we click off the screen? I'm getting angry of looking at her. Okay. Let's go some more funny. There's the Wayne kiss. I'm not clicking on that one. You people are too wound up already. Yeah, we got Isaacs. I was hoping I had one of the other scene with Isaacs, because I was trying to do something with Isaacs, but the strike was too weak. Let me see if I have a day 5 with Isaacs. What one's this? Oh no, this was what we were just doing. Want a Friday. Let's see, is this one? No. Do we have Isaacs? I love it because the shot where he shows up on day 5 looks exactly like the James Sunderland, I am no longer mentally ill. This one, maybe? No. Do we really not have a strong strike save? I've got to. think I might not. Oh well. She's back. No, we gotta get to the main menu. Okay. Yeah, being able to name the saves would be nice. Also being able to sort them by like what day it is or whatever. Or Sterling says, I don't think they'll have one, but I hope there's not some golden ending. My theory is that the golden ending is going to be something that happens, like, in a way that, like, so my theory is there's going to be an ending where you can untangle the curse, like, at its source, such that the characters in the story are able to solve all of the problems in, like, a golden way, but you never wind up coming into existence. Or something like that. But they in their interview, they were like, no, we're not going to put a golden ending because what would be the point? Yeah, like the Aeon ending in Wrath of the Righteous. But they're like, what would be the point of having anything else in the story? Like, that Carmilla route probably slaps. Like, it's probably super cool. Like, there's so much cool stuff that could happen there with, like, Tabitha trying to fix that, and we had this wonderful friendship with Tabitha, and we were going to be family again, and now we were being, like, turned against her by, like, this witch who's charmed us. You know, we fell in love with somebody that we no longer even remember and has been, like, eaten. It's horrible. Yes, if you try to cheat by having more traits than the game allows, you get pulled into, like, a Sybil dimension, and she, like, finger wags you, the player, for trying to play a game without about consequences in a way that is consequence free. Yeah, updated save management would be great. I think that would be... I don't know what this game is programmed in. I don't know if it's like a existing... Like, the save files system looks like a RenP, but it might not be. I'm not that familiar. Wayne kiss on Stella route. Yeah, that's a very funny moment. So I think if I do another run, which I probably will. Seems like these are still getting good viewership. I think the next run will be a Stella route, and we can see all the Stella content and the amazing Stella story. We can hang out with Stella. We can give kisses to Stella. We can respect Stella. We can pet Stella's dog. Stella will cook breakfast. I wonder if Carmilla's degree in veterinary medicine will ever come in handy. Somebody said something. Somebody says, I think Scarlet Hollow is in Python, which is a weird language for games, but visual novels are not very demanding. Huh, okay. What do I think the best Stella maxing traits are? Well, talk to animals is good, but we already talked to animals. Book smart is good for Stella maxing because it lets you talk. So Tabby also has book smart, and it's, I think, one of the reasons they get along. Because they're both intelligent, but like different kinds of intelligence. So if you have book smart, you can actually talk to Stella about a ton of stuff. I believe it's her preferred trait. Everybody has one. So Reese is mystical. Kenneka is powerful build. Oscar is book smart. I think Stella's also book smart. Yeah, I think we'll do book smart and keen eye for our Stella Mance. Ice Warrior says, what happens if you Stella and Wayne? I don't, so if you go to the house, I won't spoil what happens if you, yeah, crunch. I'm eating Takis. Or, sorry, Dinamitas, they're better. Blubberfish says, I think characters can have multiple preferences. Kaneeka likes hot and powerful builds. Everybody likes hot. Every single character in the game responds well to hot, except for Wayne, although Wayne does give you a better. Avery's preferred trait. I don't know, actually. So Avery doesn't have a romance that you can lock in yet. Neither does Joan. Yeah, Wayne doesn't give a fuck how you look. Yeah, it might be Keen Eye. Well, I mean, the Joan romance exists. It's just not, like, at a point where you can really see it through yet. Pastor says, I bet that you'll be... So, no, you will not be able to romance both Joan and Reese. Get out of here, Caster. So, you can, like, flirt with Joan, and you can spend a lot of time with Joan, and you can accompany Joan on day 5. And there's romantic dialogue. It's just, like, not locked in yet. I think she gives you a hug. Wayne isn't in a position to have opinions on other people's romance. Yeah, speak for yourself. Anybody who's doing the classic Jason thing can as far as I know, John Smith, there's not yet a preferred trait for Joan. It actually used to be that you had to have hot to do the Joan romance at all, because if Reese was like locked up, she wouldn't be like pursuable. But they came around on that, and then you can get into a situation where you are like the Stella to her Tabitha for imprisoned Reese, and it's kind of sad. The classic Jason thing is getting involved in other people's romances. Yeah, or chasing them around at like 2 miles an hour in Dead by Daylight. Wayne has those piercing eyes, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna bounce. I gotta go sit down because my back hurts. Because Charlie got me. Charlie got me in real life, chat. So, no, hot lets you start romances early. Preferred traits just let you more easily score points with the character. So, like, if you have book smart, you can gab about, like, cryptids and stuff with Stella a whole bunch. If you have mystical, you can, like, really impress Reese with, like, the way you talk. Like, he's like, super into it. It's very funny. If you have powerful build, you know, Kaneka's like a damsel in distress, right? Like she's like the little princess. So you gotta like come in and be like, yeah, I'll protect you. And she likes that a lot. Charlie looked at me with hyper-realistic bloodshot eyes, and suddenly the old was for real. I played the game that makes you old, yeah. And yeah, so I'll be back in a day or two for that. Later, everyone. Real old is CTLG, but oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it. How is... it was just... I had to switch is valid to is null. Or to not is null, but like...